Hello, everyone, and welcome to Premium Takes on Adam Costas' StreamYard YouTube channel. I'm going to have Zion kick it off as he is our resident host of Premium Takes. But I just wanted to let everyone know it's on my channel, and since it's my channel, I thought I'd just say a few words. But thank you, and Zion, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode 4 of Premium 6. We got Logan in the house. We got Hit Squad in the house, and let's get it. First question I just want to bring up for the panel before I know Adam prepared some questions he wants to serve us. First question is just basically, how you guys been, man? How's life? Always want to check up with my co-host before we talk about the serious topics in sports.
We are good. Last night was an epic game, epic games, but I'm sure we're going to get into that. But I'm going to bring the first question up. Mac, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great, man. Like you said, we had a great weekend of football, man, and it ended with an absolute epic game, man, and the weekend. So can't ask for more as a football fan right about now. I'm just ready for these championship games and see who's going to the bowl, man.
Let's get it. So first, we're gonna start off. It was a banger this weekend in the UFC. We had Ngannou defend his heavyweight strap. We had Figueroa get his back in a controversial kind of decision. So
Very controversial.
I know Max a big UFC fan. I know Adam is slowly getting into it. And I just want to talk about the results and mainly Brandon Moreno getting robbed. I know they're probably going to set up a fourth fight. It's good for the promotion, but I think something needs to be fixed with these judges. I know don't leave it in the hands of the judges, but I just believe that something needs to be fixed. And also, too, guys, once we wrap up talking about each subject, if anybody wants to come in, just leave a comment and we'll drop the link and you guys can come in and bring your takes in on the topic that we're sitting on. Brandon Moreno, what's your thoughts on it, Mac?
I think you just hit the nail on the head with controversial, man. That was the most controversial fight of the night. I feel like I'm just not sure what the judges were looking at. I feel like Moreno definitely should have won that fight. And even if the judges, I don't understand how they all scored the fight the exact same way in a unanimous decision.
Exactly. If it was split, then maybe I could see it. But unanimous, what are you guys looking at?
Unanimous, and they all had the exact same scores. Like you basically, I don't understand that fight. Moreno, I mean, I almost kind of compare that UFC fight to an old boxing match years ago. Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad. That might have been a little before you, Zion.
I love it, but maybe Adam can relate to bringing Adam.
But
Adam
that was also
discussion.
To me was a controversial decision where I feel like De La Hoya absolutely, for the most part, dominated the fight, and yet the judges some way gave it to Trinidad, man. And I just feel like that I compared that UFC Moreno and Figueroa fight, almost that same type of scenario, man. I just don't know what the judges were looking at. I'm not going to act like I'm some kind of expert on the subject of how the scoring system really works, but the fight I saw, I thought Moreno clearly won it.
What I seen in that fifth round too is like if it was good, it was 2-2 going into the fifth. Some people had it 3-1, but I had it as 2-2 going into the fifth. I seen a takedown by Moreno, and I seen 2 minutes of offense where he landed in the end of the round where he landed the majority strikes. When Davison Figueroa knocked him down with that punch, that was a knockdown. But I just felt like he did more at the end too, and plus he had that takedown. But I think maybe the judges looked at that knockdown, scored that knockdown really big, and also they probably felt that Figueroa did the most damage in that fifth round, which I think it wasn't canon because of the fact that Brandon Moreno in the last 2 minutes won on most of those engagements. So I don't know what the hell happened there. What's up, Ash? Thanks for being here. What's up, Blue Corner? Thanks for being here. And let's get into the main event before we switch topics. What's your thoughts on Ngannou? Patient Ngannou.
That was an interesting one, man. I mean, I think once he realized that he wasn't going to be able to just get him out of there early, man, with the knockout, and I think he had a good strategy. He switched up his strategy. He wasn't the typical Ngannou you used to seeing, man, and I think that was actually smart because he was. I honestly thought before the fight. I honestly thought lost his name for some reason. The challenger. Ciel Grant. Yeah, I thought he was going to actually get the W, man, because I've been really impressed with this guy the last couple of times I've seen him fight. But Ngannou, man, he's a champ for a reason. He fought the smarter fight, man. He got the job done. And I'm not a big fan of the heavyweight division of the UFC because I just find the fights a little
usually
a little more slow and more boring. Yeah, but these two are the cream of the crop in that division. And right now I don't see anybody else that's going to be standing either one of their way for the near future right now.
Absolutely, especially that whole out of the cage controversy with the GOAT John Jones. I don't see him returning anytime soon, and even if he does, it's probably not going to be probably late 2023, if that. Also, too, I just wanted to point out, Adam, if you go to comments, you can select on anyone's comment to bring it up on stream. What's up, G Nation Inside Sports? Thank you for being here. With Ngannou too, I believe that he was the more experienced fighter when it came down to it, right? You look at both fighters engaging in round 1 and 2, trying to get each other out of there fast. Realize that it's going to be a long war. I'm gonna conserve my energy. And Gane, he needed this. He needed this lesson. I remember, maybe we don't call it losses, we call it lessons, because 10-0. You can come up and you can come up 10-0, but once you start dealing with some and rightfully so, he worked himself to a title shot at an undefeated record. But at the end of the day, it shows him that he has a lot to work on and a lot to improve. And Francis, it showed us the first fight with Stipe, what Francis had to improve. Francis came out the next fight, Patience Francis improved. And I love it because we got to see some takedowns, and we got to some slams actually, and we got to see some groundwork from Francis, something that's super rare. And I love it to see that when fighters have this. Like, I'm sorry to go on this rant here, but I'm Hawaiian. My favorite fighter is Max Holloway. I love it in his last outing, he was able to show some ground game. I love it how Francis Ngannou, he was able to show some ground game. And before we switch topics, I believe G Nation and Nate is going to be with me on calling 271, the Izzy versus Robert Whittaker 2. I'll talk to you about that after. We can do it on your channel, G Nation. We can do it on my channel. Nate's gonna call 272. So we got you guys posted for UFC content. And Mac, you're more than welcome to always join us. And Adam, I know there's a spot for you, even though you don't follow the content. Let's move on to our next subject. Unless you have any final takes, Mac.
No, I put the link in the chat for people to come in and give their opinion on the UFC 270.
I love it.
So we can move on to the next topic if there's nobody that's going to jump on, but let's just see. Give it a second or two, see if someone jumps on. Maybe I didn't put it in the chat. I can't.
Yeah, you have to put it in the chat, I think.
Ash,
you attempted
man.
to.
I'm doing the Royal Rumble on Saturday night, man. I'm having a little watch party, man. I'm not gonna be sitting there. I'm not gonna be trying to be Jim Ross or nothing, but at the same time,
you gotta be Jim Ross, man.
At the same time. At the same time, we're gonna have some fun.
Watch the calling pay-per-views.
Yes. All day, every day.
I'm slowly getting back into it, Ash. I was off and on, but these guys love it, and I love it too. And I'm getting back into it. Like Adam said, this is the perfect time. This is WrestleMania season. Let's get it.
So if no one's gonna call in for that, I'm gonna go to the next question, guys. Here we go.
Perfecto. Are we gonna go starting with the first?
Thoughts on divisional Saturday games first. So Zion, give me your takes.
I'm gonna let you guys handle that Rams versus Tampa Bay game because I'm sorry, that's
Saturday?
That's Sunday. I'm gonna let you guys handle that Green Bay versus 49ers game because I didn't see the full game. But shout out to Joe Burrow and Lamar Chase and that Bengals defense. Shout out to the Bengals organization. They had a tough out against the number 1 seed in the playoffs in Tennessee. And they went out there and Burrow is proven and Chase is proven why he was not a mistake at 5, and Burrow is proven why he's going to be considered an elite quarterback in the league one day. Absolutely phenomenal performance by the Bengals and great work by Tennessee Titans. Also, that was a really good game. Obviously, we got spoiled on Sunday night, so it kind of overshadowed that game. But that game was awesome to watch. It was kind of slow at points, but it was a good match.
Yeah, I was listening to your video earlier, the hurry up earlier, Adam, man. You already nailed this game already, man. Joe, this game was awesome, man. Also in its own right. Joe Burrow, we had this conversation a few weeks ago. I'm gonna put this to bed. Joe Burrow is elite. I don't want to hear that he's only been in the league 2 years. He is an elite quarterback right now. because that kid right there got sacked 9 times
Ouch.
in a divisional round of the playoff game
Ooh.
on the road.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Against the number 1 seed team in the conference. And he got back. He kept getting back up, and he just kept throwing darts, bro. Joe Burrow is an elite quarterback. Let's put that to bed now. Let's not making excuses why he's not. He absolutely is.
Yes.
But also, like you also were mentioning earlier, I'm just going to keep piggybacking off of your points from earlier in the video. The Tennessee Titans, man, the Achilles heel yes for them on Saturday was absolutely Ryan Tannehill. You got a good game from A.J. Brown. You got maybe one of the better games of the season from Julio Jones. And then I mean, you had Derrick Henry in his return, and he wasn't quite the same Derrick Henry. He was going down a little easier than the Derrick Henry we used to seeing. But at the same time, he didn't play horrible either, all things considered. And Ryan Tannehill, like you said, he shit the bed, man, straight up. He just couldn't show up for a big one, man.
Thank you for bringing up the pass rush of the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill shedding the bed, because those are 2 key points that I totally left out of my take. Continue. And yes, real fast too. Shout out to the Big Blue Corner this whole weekend, one of the best divisional weekends by 4 in all the playoffs history. And shout out to G Nations. Yes, we're gonna talk about that Bills game, and I can't wait. But I'll let Matt continue.
But yeah, that game was really fun to watch. That Cincinnati Bengals team is going to be a fun team to watch for years to come. They could legitimately become a dynasty, the next dynasty in the NFL. Honestly, if they can keep things together, people don't get injured, and you don't lose too many people to free agency, because they got 2 absolute stud wide receivers on the outside, and they got a hell of a third wide receiver in Tyler Boyd. And then, I mean, Joe Mixon in the backfield, Joe Burrow slinging the rock, man. This is going to be a dangerous team for years to come. If they can get that defense more in check, a little more in check, and get that offensive line resolved, yeah, this is going to be Cincinnati's going to be a fun team. And I believe they could be a team of destiny this year. Like I said, it's about who gets hot at the right time, man. And right now, they are on fire. They're just getting it done, man. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them beat Kansas City next week. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later.
Well, thanks, Mac, for referencing my videos, because I said most of what you said in there, so it's not really much. But I will say this about Joe Burrow. He is an elite quarterback because of what he did on that field, making everybody on his team better. Not just him, but the entire team he brought on his back. Now, you look at it, 9 sacks. What you got to look at those 9 sacks there were no mistakes with those 9 sacks. There were no fumbles. There were no turnovers. Yes, maybe he could have thrown the ball away. Yeah, but as a young quarterback, he listened to what his coach said. Said, live to play another day. Live to play another. Now, a punt is a good thing. Remember, a coach said that for us, but some people didn't listen, right? So my point is that Joe Burrow took his team on his back to another level of quarterbacking that we need to really respect. I mean, it was a quiet 300 yards that he had, but he outperformed the Ryan Tannehill. He kept the ball out of harm's way. Ryan Tannehill had 3 interceptions. I mean, you can't be an elite quarterback and then go into the game and throw 3 picks. That's terrible. How is that? And they paid this guy millions of dollars. He turned into a pumpkin when the game gets on the line. This is what I told about Titans fan. They got him. I bet if they had Mariota, that might be a different game. They got this guy Tannehill because Mariota was injured constantly. So they wanted to bring in a competent backup to give him, some competition, and if he gets injured. Well, they chose Tannehill. Well, guess what? Tannehill is not good in the playoffs, and that's been his Achilles heel for years. Not just this year, but the last couple of years, the Titans have been either in the AFC Championship game or the divisional round, and he hasn't come through at all. And they've set him up for success. Great running game, solid offensive line, 2 great receivers, decent tight ends. I mean, what more could you ask for? And he craps the bed. So for me, like I said in my video also, hey, I'm an underdog guy, but this might be the anniversary year of the first time the Bengals played the 49ers in the Super Bowl in 1981. That is the 40-year anniversary coming up. So maybe, just maybe, the football gods have one more game left for the Cincinnati Bengals to get to. And maybe when we get to the divisional round, you'll hear who I'm picking to represent the NFC. So let's get it.
I love it.
That's
Our
awesome.
next game on Saturday night was the 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people said that Aaron Rodgers was a letdown. I didn't watch the game. I want to know you guys' takes on it. I seen
Um,
highlights, but I don't know if highlights does it justice.
the
I mean, the
game.
Green Bay.
Here's the thing about the game, and I'll start. Sorry, Mac.
Oh, no, you good.
The game was looking to be a blowout
Mm.
in the middle of the first quarter, but then this Aaron Jones fumbled the football, and it basically ignited the 49ers defense. So the 49ers were kind of adjusting to the cold weather, adjusting to the plays. Aaron Rodgers, they punt the ball, their offense is struggling. Green Bay is driving. All of a sudden they have a big fumble at the midfield. 49ers recover, the whole game changed. At that moment, the whole game changed. The whole complexion of the 49ers changed. And all of a sudden they got their mean meter up. They're like, oh, we're playing a football game. We can beat these guys.
A lot of people said they got Giants 2007 vibes.
Right. And the funniest thing is Kyle Shanahan showed that video of the 2007 divisional round in Green Bay the championship game against Green Bay and how it was cold. He kind of used that as motivation. So you're welcome, 49er fans. As we inspired your team to kick some Green Bay butt. And just to touch on the Aaron Rodgers thing, because that's where we're going with this. This is what happens to Aaron Rodgers every year in Green Bay. Like, this is why I said in my video prior to the game, I said, Aaron Rodgers, I don't trust him in big games, because in big games, where has his team come up? You know, you look at 2011, they were 15-1 after winning the Super Bowl. 15-1. Giants come in there and just railroad them, and they went down, right? Giants had a Hail Mary. They got a crazy catch by Ahmad Bradshaw, you know, and this has been Green Bay. Like, Green Bay beats the Dallas Cowboys, goes to the NFC Championship game, and chokes again. You know what I mean? This has been the history of the game. That's why, you know, when everyone's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, I'm like, oh, yeah, he's very, very good. He's a superstar. But, like, he only got one ring to show for this and his an entire dominance. And let's be honest, it's been dominance. They had one blip or two, 1 or 2 seasons where Mike McCarthy wasn't there and they were transitioning to Matt LaFleur. But once they've been in the playoffs, they've been like 13-3 last year. This year, they were the number 1 seed. And again, they're ousted.
Yeah,
So,
last 3 years they finished with 13 wins.
I mean, you know how hard it is to do that? And they do it every year as it's like it's their job. But every year, like it's their job, they go bye-bye and they're playing on the golf course. It's
I think Matt LaFleur is 39-10.
That's a crazy record. If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they've been in the AFC Championship game 4 years in a row. They've been able to punch their ticket twice, right? This is going to be their 3rd time. And you look at the Green Bay Packers and you're like, you're the Buffalo Bills of this era, because you get to the playoffs with the number 1 seed and you just lose.
But
every
the Bills
year.
is worse, because didn't they go to like 3 straight Super Bowls, if not
4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah, 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yes, they were.
I see the comparison though. Division lost.
I mean,
division
but they were
lost.
losing the Super Bowls at least. The Packers
conference
just
lost.
Right, fine. But what I'm saying is like
Conference
the
championship lost.
The Bills
Conference
win every year.
lost. Division lost.
But I'm just saying, like, look at the Green Bay. Every year we're saying the same thing. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. This guy gets to the big games and he has one of these brain farts. And even some of the announcers said today, why don't you get a secondary receiver? Because they don't Devontae Adams. I mean, like, I feel like Green Bay has one offensive weapon, 2 offensive weapons, and that's it. You take those 2 out of the game, they can't do anything.
So
it's been like that for years.
That makes Kyle Shanahan 2-0 against Matt LaFleur in the playoffs.
That is true. And the 49ers, and I'll finish on this note, the 49ers are a team I think of destiny, like Mac was saying, is because they're playing hard, they're overcoming all their mistakes, even though when they make them, I mean, there were passes in this game by Jimmy Garoppolo where I thought he was getting a pick 6. At least twice in this game, he turned and threw a loft pass to like a running back that barely made it to the running back, or it hit the turf, and you're like, man, if that Green Bay guy keeps his head up, he's going for 6. Right? They even showed it. Like, even Troy Aikman's like, yeah, man, if this defender is not looking at the receiver and he's looking at the ball, this is a pick 6. And I'm like, you know, Tannehill's not making those plays. The football gods aren't allowing those mistakes not to happen. He's making them. Jimmy Garoppolo is getting away with them. Not only that, the defense and special teams played a heck of a role in this game. And this is what we talk about when you talk about all 3 phases of a game, right? The 49ers are a well-rounded team, well-coached team. Look at the discipline they had out there. Look at if they had penalties like the Cowboys did, they probably lose this game. They were not penalized. They figured it out on offense. It took them till the middle of the 3rd quarter, but at least they figured it out. And hey, man, I can't bet against these 49ers right now, Mac.
Well, yeah, like this the 49ers right now, defensively, man, this team has it all defensively, and they got their linebackers back. That was clutch for the in this game, and I just think they're offensively 11 and 19, 131 yards and interception. That doesn't sound like the quarterback that should be winning the divisional round playoff game. Yet, like Adam said, he came close to making a couple big mistakes, but he didn't actually make the big one that ultimately would hurt his team, and cost his team the game. I mean, the numbers are pretty ugly in my opinion. I mean, like I said, 11, 19, 131 yards and a pick is definitely not blowing anybody away. But at the same time, it's this defense that gets it done for the 49ers, man. And it keeps them in every single game they're in. And then what they do have on offense, they get the most out of it, man. Shout out to Deebo Samuel's parents. You got to be the most awesome parents in the world to name your kid Deebo. You got to be big Friday fans. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me, but you actually named your kid Deebo, and he happens to be an absolute beast. You know what I mean? He didn't.
Rest in peace to that actor. I believe he died too a while back.
Yeah, he did. He did. He passed away. I feel like it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
But he's just. I mean, he plays like Deebo. You know what I mean? Like he lives up to that name. Totally. I mean, he didn't have the biggest game on Saturday, but at the same time, he's a factor, man. When he's out there, man, you gotta account for him, man. And he's doing so much. He's lined up in the backfield like a running back. He's still a wide. He's doing his thing at wide receiver. I mean, the guy is just all around phenomenal. I had to just give him a little bit of little bit of props, man.
Show him love. I mean, because
he's that guy.
I think a couple of people I've been talking to say you can't win a championship with a skill player. This guy is basically carrying his team and the offense to the championship game. You know what I mean? You gotta give him that credit because he is outstanding right now. And if there's an MVP, it definitely is not going to be Jimmy G. It's definitely going to be Deebo Samuel.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's about all I got on this game, man.
All right, well, let's get to the next thing.
So we had the Los Angeles Rams go to Tampa, I believe it was, and upset the number 1 seed. What you guys thoughts on the game?
I got a little crazy story about how this game for me, man, because I'm watching this game. Looked like the Rams pretty much had it all in hand, was kind of in control the whole way, dominating. They're up by 17, I believe, still in the fourth quarter, and I turned the game off and figured, okay, I don't need to watch no more of this because I wanted to watch the last episode of the Ozark.
Got you. Oh,
go.
Yes, I wanted to watch the last episode. I wanted to watch the last episode.
Gotcha. So you watched more than I did. I watched highlights of this game. I had a business meeting that morning, so I couldn't watch it fully. But what I seen, I'll let you continue. I didn't want to cut you off.
I was gonna say, so yeah, I ended up turning it off and missing the best damn part of the game, man.
It's like one of those guys that goes to sleep thinking the game's over, wakes up, finds out next day. That's funny.
But it was still overall. I mean, the Rams, they're starting to also warm up. Those pieces are starting to all gel, come together, man. And it's going to be fun to see them in the 49ers play for the third time this year. The 49ers absolutely have the Rams number. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to matter going into the game on Sunday, but they do. The 49ers absolutely own the Rams. And it's going to be very entertaining to watch that game on Sunday. But
be a fun game.
Yeah, the Rams, Odell Beckham, man. I'm proud of him. I'm glad he's getting another opportunity to show everybody that he is one of the great elite receivers in this league. He happens to have another great one opposite of him now, Cooper Kupp, and it's making things a lot easier for him, easier than he's probably had in his whole career, to be quite frank, when he's not necessarily the focal guy that the defenses are focusing on to stop. I mean, you got Cam Akers, like he's getting better and better. I know he had a big fumble, I believe, in this game, but
yes,
but at the same time, he's getting better, getting his legs back underneath him, coming off a devastating injury. Shout out to him, because that's not something easy to do, to come back from an injury like that and come back and be able to contribute to your team. And as long as Matt Stafford doesn't make those big mistakes, man, watch out for the Rams' offense, and then defensively, We ain't had to comment, man. Like they did exactly what I knew they needed to do, which was get to Tom Brady and make him uncomfortable, man. And that's all. That's all it takes. If you can get to Tom Brady without having to blitz him constantly, and without having to rely on the blitz to get to him, to create the pressure, which they obviously can with Floyd and Von Miller and Aaron Donald. I mean,
yeah, shout out Von Miller. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Von Miller. Remember I talked about that guy? People laughed at me.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun game to watch on Sunday. I can't wait to see the Rams and the 49ers on Sunday, man.
It was a great game. It was one of those games that was looked like a blowout. It seems like this is the theme of these games. They look like blowouts, and then all of a sudden the team, gets going. So I'm watching the game, sitting here watching LA just spank them, and I'm like, damn, Tom Brady is gonna get spanked. Then all of a sudden they score a touchdown from a fumble. Then I'm like, okay, it's 13. I look at the score. It's only 2 touchdowns. Nothing big. The Rams aren't gonna screw this up. All of a sudden, again, another touchdown, and you're like, holy shit, is it going to happen? Right? And of course, it does happen. Tom Brady, they get another fumble from 8 airs inside the red zone. Right? The Rams are getting the ball. They just scored inside the red zone. Here they come. Right? And of course, here they come. And as they're going, Tom Brady scores, with obviously with Gronkowski or whatever it was, and you're like, Jesus, this is not happening right now. This team is not supposed to get railroaded like this. Then they get the ball back, and Matthew Stafford, Zion, I'm going to give you credit because you kept saying put some respect on this man's name, and he threw. If it weren't for the game that we're going to talk about after this one, this probably would have been the play or the pass of the weekend where he just got an absolute dime to Cooper Kupp to get them in field goal range to kick the game winner. This is why you went and got him. This is why the dividends are paying off. Remember, Jared Goff probably didn't make that play. Even though they probably call the same play, he probably doesn't hit it. Remember, in the Super Bowl, he missed Brandon Cooks wide open in the back of the end zone. So this is what you're doing, because maybe this year, if that same scenario happens in the Super Bowl, if they get there, it's a
tough out in San 49ers, sorry.
Yeah, but let's not put the cart before the horse. But what I'm saying is, if that happens, Matthew Stafford is the guy that is making that play. And that's why I believe, he was brought here for that reason. And those are my thoughts. What I am intrigued about is, I don't know. The Brady speculating coming back or going or retiring. I think he's pulling a Brett Favre right now. We'll see what happens. I guess they're going to wait till free agency. That's how Tom likes to roll. He'll wait and see what acquisitions are made. But if we saw, I don't think we've seen the last of Tom Brady. I don't think he wants to go out like that. He's going to try He's going to try to go for one more time. He's just greedy, so he just can't. He can't not play. But I did see the age start to get to him. Some of the throws were like, "Oh man, Tom, your arm's starting to be weak a little bit." I mean, he's 43 years old. You can't do much more than that. But anywho, that's my take on it. Miz, if you want to comment a few things on the divisional round for the first game at least.
Yeah. Oh, the first game.
The Rams.
The Rams game. Yeah. Oh, that was listen, man, I know Tampa made a comeback, but I didn't really buy into it that much. I feel like the Rams put that game away early. Sometimes teams trade some points or drives for time, and they got a fumble deep in Rams zone, which was huge for them, obviously. But I mean, for the most part, the Rams dominated this game, and they were all around a much better football team. Now, interesting about these things you're hearing tonight about Brady is really actually thinking about retiring. So
there must be something going on down in Tampa. He must not like the coach. Something must be going on because, I mean, besides old.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on in Tampa, Adam. $45 million over the cap and 6 major free agents that they have no money for. That's what's going on.
That's probably why he's retiring. Like I said, they're probably waiting for the acquisitions to come through. And Tom Brady, he's going to wait. And if they have crappy stuff, that's what he'll do. So, anyways, I guess we'll move on to the game of the weekend, maybe the game of the century.
Yeah, we got treated to shout out to G Nation. He did say Tom Brady's gonna retire after the at the beginning of the season. So shout out G Nation Inside Sports. Let's get it. So we got treated to
Ooh.
basically we watched the damn Super Bowl on Sunday night. A high
Woo!
scoring Super Bowl in that. I'm just not. I know you. We are all excited to talk about that. So Adam, you begin. Pass it over to Mac, and I'd love to hear from Miz. And thank you so much for being here, Miz.
Oh my God, guys! What
Talk
a
about anything you
what
want to
a
talk about. This
freaking
game was
ball
fantastic.
game that was! Probably one of the most epic games I've ever seen in my seen in my life. Right, and I've seen a lot of football games. I'm not as old as some people. No offense, Miz or Mac, but they've probably seen more games than I have. But in my football watching career, I have not seen a game that has been. Again, you're thinking, it's going to be a blowout. The Casey's running up and down the field. Buffalo's barely scoring. Right? Then the guys missed the tackle on that Harden kid, whatever his name was, number 17, going up the sideline. I'm like, what are you doing, Bills? Like, give me a break. That's piss poor. And then I'm looking over at my woman. I'm like, damn. This game is over. All of a sudden, Josh Allen just corks one, 70-yard bomb in the air, just absolutely out of nowhere. I was like, what, 21-27 there, game on, off to the races. Here we go. The team just traded, touchdowns and field goals, and it went down to the wire. This is where the
17
overtime
points
rule
scored
comes
in under 2 minutes.
Yes, under 2 minutes they scored like 30-something points. What I will say is this. First off, Leslie Frazier, your defense, you're a fraud. Okay, you're fraudulent. Give me back my card. Give me back my receipt. You're stealing money from me with that number one defense. Totally caca. Okay, don't tell me you're number one defense and then come out and have a performance like that. I don't care what anybody says. You need to come out. The 49ers showed you what a number one defense looks like. And I know
real fast. We can actually go straight there because I knew that was gonna come up. I knew that was gonna come to. Obviously, we'll talk about Gabriel Davis and his performance, but real fast. You have 13 seconds left on the clock. Okay, what was that, Buffalo? Well, what are you guys doing? I don't want to hear this coin
I'll be
flip.
honest with you,
And yeah, maybe they should. We can talk about changing the rules, maybe like a full 10 minutes, no matter what happens in overtime. But I want to talk about that. What was that? 13 seconds. What are they doing?
Here's my thought. I was thinking the same thing, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm like, your defense is supposed to be number one. So kicking the ball back, going 25 yards to get back there, I'm thinking maybe they can stop them. Well, I was wrong. They should have squib kicked it, gave up 4 or 5 seconds, and then you're probably not winning. The Kansas City's probably not winning this football game. But that is an error on McDermott's part. Now, again, I don't know what he said to the guy when he ran out to the field. I told you I'm eating crow right now, humble pie, on my own stream that, I was thinking the same thing when they kicked it deep. I was like, all right, man, kick it deep, let your defense go. I didn't know his fraudulent ass defense wasn't going to do. And you remember, what the worst part is? They had this team at 3rd and 10. They had this team at 3rd and 10 in their own territory, and they give up a big play to Tyreek Hill. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? It's just like, why are you playing zone on this guy? Why are you playing man? And then what is the Bills defense was so ill prepared. There's a few calls that just go over the top. You wasted a legendary performance by Josh Allen. If you doubted Josh Allen now, well, guess what? He's here, okay, and he ain't going nowhere.
That should have been his win, man.
And we should be talking about the legendary comeback and epic nature of Josh Allen. Instead, what we're talking about is Kansas City going to
the overtime rules.
And then when we get to overtime, which I thought they changed, them. I thought that this was one of those rules that they were going to make it like college, that they were going to give you the touchdown now in the regular season, but in the playoffs you were going to get at least a chance to match. No matter what.
Yeah,
we're on Adam's channel.
Adam's channel, yes, and one thing too, I know Mac wants to talk too, and I'm gonna let him go. But one thing too, I mean, like not in regular season, playoff overtime, who cares hell? But in playoff overtime, 10-minute quarter, no matter what happens, who has the final score at the 10-minute quarter, and if we have a tie, then we do maybe some court, maybe some college. I didn't think.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think you're right. Play it like a regular quarter, because we just got robbed. We got robbed of probably another. That they were scoring at an amazing clip. We could have probably saw 70 points in the game. Well, who knows? That's how crazy it was. Mac?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like this, man. I feel awful for Josh Allen, man. I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna go out there and go 27 to 37, 329 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and has to stand at that podium after that game as the losing quarterback with numbers like that. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem fair, man. It just doesn't. That doesn't seem right.
Well,
but
if you told me that he wasn't playing Mahomes, I would be like, dang, what the heck?
But that facts. But the overtime rule absolutely sucks, man. I'm gonna just get right into it. I feel some type of way about it right now, and I hate it that they just you go down and score a touchdown, the game's over. Nah, so he pretty much, if Buffalo would have won that coin toss, they'd have won the game because Kansas City wasn't stopping them either. So it's like, let these teams. I feel like the overtime rule should be this, man. You just go back and forth, and you just keep matching, and whoever finally comes up on top, you know what I mean? That's it. The game's over. You know what I mean? Let it keep going. If it has to keep going back and forth, and you got to run another whole extra quarter, then so
like the NBA overtime.
Yeah. Like
Why is it like, yo, if we kick a field goal, you guys can go try? It's like, no, we scored a touchdown, you guys go try score a touchdown.
Well,
you guys
that's what it should be fair, right?
Like, that would be
that's what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Or how about get another drive? How about get another drive, right? You don't necessarily need to score. So if they score a touchdown, the game doesn't end. You get at least one drive to see what you can do, right? Something along. So, and if you score a touchdown, then they have to go down. Obviously, the game's tied. You keep going, but you'll get that one possession. Like, hey, if they score a field goal, or hey, if they score a touchdown, the game's not over. You got a chance to either match or win the game, right?
Or a field goal, you win it with a touchdown. Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, both teams should definitely be touching the football, man. It should not be in the hands of a coin toss, man. You shouldn't, especially in a big game like that, a great epic game. Like you said, we got robbed of greatness, man. Like, I mean, the game was still great no matter what, but we got absolutely robbed of a better finish to that football game. Because as soon as Kansas City won the coin toss, I pretty much kind of knew that they were going to do exactly what they did. Yeah.
It was over. And we've had this conversation many a times. They did tweak the rule, obviously, but now the playoffs are different. There's more on the line. Someone said it in a podcast today. I get the overtime rules now and ending in a tie because you have 17 games. You don't want these guys to, overexert themselves playing 8 quarters or whatever, trying to win the football game. But this is a chance to advance to possibly the Super Bowl, or in this case, to the NFC Championship game, a game which you may never get to again in your life. Right? And who knows? One play, that's it. It's over. You make an interception. I mean, there is something about greatness that sometimes you don't want to just watch. This game is going to be watched for years to come. Buffalo Bills fans may not want to watch it for years to come, but this will be on NFL Network. We'll be sitting on our porches, drinking our cognacs, chilling, and on NFL Network in the summertime, this game is going to come on, and we're all going to sit back and be like, damn. Remember where we were when this game went down? Like, holy crap. That's what that game was.
Facts.
I mean, it played out exactly how I knew it was, too. I knew it was going to be high scoring. I mean, sure, everybody did. It wasn't like that was some kind of big, hot take or anything. But this game was absolutely as advertised, man. It was advertised and billed as the game of the week, and it came through.
That was a game of the year, the decade.
Let's get Miz's topics on the any topics for discussion about this game, Miz?
Bills. The Bills should have won that game. Bottom line. That's it. Buffalo Bills were a better team on that field, even though the Chiefs were really nasty themselves. This game, as I said earlier today, was played on a whole different level than the rest of this league, man. Like Z said, that was really the Super Bowl. I'll be shocked if the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And, man, Josh Allen, man. You know what I'm saying? Man. I mean, so I think sometimes you lose these type of heart-wrenching losses, and that the next year you come back and go all the way, right? We've seen that in football a lot. So I would.
Yeah, this one's gonna hunt Josh Allen for a while.
I was rooting for Buffalo because I have a little love for Buffalo, Western New York. They never won a Super Bowl, and they have a big fan base, and also a guy named Jim Kelly who suffered a lot the last decade or two, and I know that he's a big fan and he still lives up there. He lives in Buffalo still, so that I was kind of pulling for him to get there, Lombardi, but I think that's not the last you heard of the Bills, especially Josh Allen. You know, so
Absolutely.
about the overtime, I'm old school and I'm not one for changing the rules, but I understand where Mac is coming from. So it is what it is. Also, the Bills are ranked number 1 defense in the league this year. They needed to do a better job yesterday,
Fraud.
especially at the
Yes,
end of
that's
that.
why he brought up.
I agree. I agree with that as well.
Performance, yes.
Fraud. But you go in there and this will be my last point. You go in there as the number 1 defense, and you played like the 32nd ranked defense. I mean, you had no answer. I mean, even the Giants, with their piss poor team, held this team to 20 points. You know, it's like what? Like, go back and watch some film, take some chances. I mean, you know what the problem is, and I thought about it this morning. The Buffalo Bills are built to beat the New England Patriots. They're not built to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They are built to beat the top dog in their division, which was the New England Patriots. Now they got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Because right now that's been their arch nemesis from going to the Super Bowl or advancing in this playoffs the last 2 years. So what they need to do is go back and say, listen, we got the AFC East right now on lock, or at least, we're gonna be able to compete for it, because New England's now going to try to come out of the ashes, and so they need to figure out how to beat New England again, which their team looks like it's ready made to do that, and now go out and figure out how to beat Kansas City, and that'll be my last point. Which leads us
and shout out.
No, it's not all been playing offense. Same thing, man, with Kansas City. Their defense was really, really good the last 10 weeks, and they also got abused yesterday. So
yeah,
it's 2 ways, man.
Shout out to Gabriel Davis. His name will go down in history for touchdowns, over 200 yards in the game. We cannot forget that the performance, he put the move on one of those defenders, and also the game.
How did I forget to say something about Gabe? I'm sorry, Zion.
Yeah,
how I forget to mention Gabriel Davis' name?
Talk about Gabriel Davis.
How did I forget to mention that man name? That young man balled out, had the absolute game of his life, 4 touchdowns.
Of the NFL life.
And I'm convinced that if they would have won the coin toss, he'd have got his 5th touchdown pass.
Well, you know why they lost that game, Mac? Because you know why they lost that game? Because Kansas City has a fucking cheetah on their team. Tyreek Hill don't make that move. That's how the Bills would have finished. He takes it for 60 like nothing.
Well, the thing is,
he's gonna run this way and be gone. Nobody.
Gabriel Davis, 200 yards, epic performance. Go down in NFL history. Take his uniform to the Hall of Fame. Those are Hall of Fame uniform performances where I know he lost, but he broke records and did things that you don't normally do. I know, believe it or not, people, there are uniforms in the Hall of Fame for epic games.
Yes.
That one needs to go in there as well. What problem on that Tyreek play is the cornerback did not bump him at the line. And the second part was B, which would be the safety, 21. What are you doing, bro? You just got to come reckless abandon and go hit that guy. You can't just wait and hesitate and be like, and then, it was at half a millisecond and Tyreek was gone.
It was such a big brother, like a 1-up to Gabriel Davis. Gabriel Davis seals the game. Tyreek Hill just big brothered him. He's like, yeah, okay. 70 or 60 yards.
That's
crazy.
It's usually the unsung heroes that make plays like Gabriel Davis. Yeah, and then you got Tyreek Hill, who are game breaker superstars. But let's get into our next question, fellas. Our next I guess let's do a quick update on what's going on with the Giants coaching search, and I guess what we're hearing or what you guys think of the candidates, whether it's a front runner, whether you want them to do something else. I don't care how you present it, and any opinion is good because there's no official ink to paper. I know, Ms. We know all the stories. You've been texting me. We get it, but if somebody has a different opinion, let them voice that, and they can tell us why they like them.
I'll just go first and I'll go fast. There's 2 coaches that I have in mind that I would really love to bring in. The first one would be Brian Flores. I just think that you can't. Everybody, I know we talked about him a lot. I keep on thinking back to the season he won 5 games when they were selling his whole team. That a fire sale on his team, and he still won 5 games, and he finished 7-1 or 8-1 in his last 9 this season. So I think Brian Flores is an experienced head coach that you might want to consider bringing in, and I think Brian Flores will get this organization in the right direction. Also, too, the second candidate is is the offensive genius that we've seen last night. Just the way he was able to set up his people to get open, and I just think that he is going to be a first-time head coach. But this is a guy with a lot of experience. He's been around the league in over 20 years league experience, coaching experience, and plus two changed. A lot of people say like, oh, it's Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen. There's a partnership between Josh Allen and Brian Daboll. So just as much as it was Josh Allen, it was also Brian Daboll. What he did for that Bills offense for the last 4 years. I removed Leslie Frazier as one of my top candidates after that performance, but those two I really like. I like the best, and I watched interviews with Leslie Frazier, and I just think that I wouldn't like him as a head coach. Not to attack his personality or nothing like that. I just think that Brian Flores and Brian Dabble is the kind of people that we need to bring in right now. Because we need offensive minds because of the fact that we have a young quarterback and we need help on the offensive line.
I'll go, and then Mac, you can say, and then Miz obviously will save the best for last. So, what I want is I like Brian Flores. He's the guy that I would like. I mean, obviously, I'm not making the decision. So if they don't hire Brian Flores, I mean, you can burn my stream down all you want. I don't really care. It's not a big deal. But that's the guy I want. And here are the reasons as to why. One, I see that he did it with a crappy team. I feel like he would know how to control the guys when adversity is striking, right? This team and the players on it only know how to lose. That's what they know. That's their fallback. Daniel Jones, he's never won more than 4 games in his 4 games in his career. I mean, yeah, they won 6, but he was all those wins. So yeah. He was 4-7 when they got booted out, when he got knocked out this year. So, I mean, these guys don't understand what, it is to be relevant. So I know that, Flores hasn't technically done that, but he can look down the guy and say, hey, listen, look, calm down, go out there, execute, we can get this done. Now, I'm not saying Daboll can't do that. What I'm just saying is a first-time head coach walking in, commanding a room, right, knowing where everything goes, now being on one side of the ball calling plays. Remember, Brian Flores is going to be a CEO type. I think the Giants work well with CEO type coaches. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, the last one that we had that worked was Tom Coughlin. The other one that we had that failed was Joe Judge, but I think he just was in over his head. The other two guys, McAdoo and Pat Shurmur, I just feel they didn't have a pulse on the game. They were too busy worried about the next offensive play call and not worried about what's going on with the defense. Meanwhile, Pat Shurmur's defense having a meltdown on the field, and he's sitting there looking at a menu, looking at, what play can I pick? Am I going with the cheeseburger or the fries on this play? You know what I mean? It's like, come on. So I know Daboll is the sexy pick, and the only reservations I have are that he's new, that he has. Again, someone told me, well, Adam, Bill Parcells was new at one point. Sean McVay was new at one point. Yeah, but so was other people, and they failed. And we can't afford – the Giants right now can't afford to have a failure.
You can't afford to.
This rebuild has to go well. It can't be in 3 years we're sitting here, changing Daboll out or changing Joe Shane out because, we went with the guy that was a safe pick. Sometimes you got to go with someone that's going to irritate you. That's not going to be the guy because he's the right fit for the team right now. And that's why I believe he is. He's been through adversity. He took a team with chicken shit talent and made them winners. All right. He played damn near a playoff season, not season this whole year. Okay. And so for me, it's Brian Flores. And then Daboll, I'm warming up to the idea of it. I'm, again, a little apprehensive for the reasons I said. I mean, he's got a great resume. I mean, and the Bills team, if you look at them, are pretty young team, right? They're going to be a young ball club. Most of their guys have come from the 2019 to the 2021 draft and acquired players like that and picked a few players off, free agency tree. But most of them are homegrown guys. So a lot of the stuff that I see going on with the Bills, they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Look for the Giants to get that. Whether that be Mitchell Trubisky, right? If Daboll comes in, just because that's what's going to happen. If you bring in Daboll, you're going to have to bring in teachers like a guy like a Trubisky, who's going to have to come into the room and say, Daniel, this is how we run things. This is how we do things. This is what the offense's play call is on this particular play. And before I get into personnel, because I'm sure we're going to, go back into this, I know that someone said Dayball thinks that Jones could be Josh Allen. Let's be real. He's blowing sunshine up your ass because that's what he needs to do. You're going into a new job. You can't say, well, this guy stinks and this guy stinks and I'm going to replace this guy. You know, no one's going to be your friend. No one's going to like you. They're going to give you the Dave Gettleman treatment, right? They're going to be like, you know, who is this guy? Who's this jerk off that's never been and comes in here and says he hates me? You know what I'm saying? So I know Jones has got some talent. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to be here. You know, he needs competition. Look for Trubisky to get a sniff. He's going to probably be cheap. He's going to know the offense. And like any other coach that brings in, you know, they're going to pluck guys off their staff. So if we get Wink Martindale, because there's a rumor that that's who Dayball would want, look for a couple Raven guys to maybe be in here. Look for I think a couple free agents from the Bills offensive line to come down this way. I mean, if this gets hired, if not, I'm still thinking there's a possibility if Flores walks in and absolutely destroys the interview, he could be the coach, you know, and who knows? What if Miami comes in and says, Brian, we want you. Here's, you know, $100 million to be our coach. Are you going to turn that money down if they come in with a bigger offer than the Giants? I know it's the New York Giants, but geez, you got life-changing money here, you know? Mac?
Well, I mean, I'm warming up a lot more to the idea of Dable for obvious. One big reason is because it's looking day in every day. It looks more and more like he's going to be the guy. So it just seems that way to bringing him in for a second interview. And he's a proven, like you said, his resume speaks for itself. He wins. He's a proven winner. He's already proven the ability to put together something that works in today's modern NFL. No more of this whatever the hell we were trying to do with Jason Garrett and everybody else. I don't know what that stuff was, but so I'm warming up to the idea of getting just a completely new philosophy. You know, bring something just totally different to the New York Giants, something we haven't seen in years.
Yes.
Because it's just been the New York Giant way for so long. We've all just gotten used to it. We're all stuck in that same rut. Now let's go out. Let's go to the rock show. Let's go to the rock concert now. You know what I mean? Let's step up. Let's make some noise. Let's see somebody that can wake these players up, because I believe in the talent of Kenny Golladay. I believe in the talent of Saquon Barkley. I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones guy, but I believe the kid has some degree. He's not the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. I just don't believe that. I'm not buying into that. I feel like he has some ability to get some stuff done. I'm not saying he's going to be like Joe Burrow or these other new young hot shots that's out there now, but at the same time, I believe you can get something out of this kid. And the coaches we've had, these last few coaches, they just clearly haven't been able to step up and get the job done and teach these kids and coach these kids up, man, because we don't have the worst roster in the NFL, but we look like we did. We certainly look like we did, especially the month of December. That month is a month that I want to put so far out of my memory bank that, because I've been, as long as I've been a New York Giants fan, that was the worst month of football I've seen the New York Giants have. As I've been a fan since the 80s, bro.
So, Mac, you're not going to tell your grandkids about this?
I'm definitely not going to bring that up at any of the big family events about the 2021 New York Giants, especially in the month of December. It was a shit show. And I'm excited for somebody like David to come in, like I said, fresh eyes, completely opposite of the New York Giant way. It's going to come in, maybe shake some things up, and just make this a better football team going forward. I'm not expecting big things in this first year, but at the same time, I believe as long as we can see some progression and see us actually, making strides, properly.
Build the foundation, right, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. Truly building the foundation, not pretending that we have it built already. Truly building the foundation.
Absolutely.
Which personally for me starts with the line. I'm always going to be like that. I'm an O-line guy. I don't give a damn how these Mel Kiper people are doing their mock drafts and got Linderbaum going like in the late back end of the first round. I want Linderbaum. That's my guy. He's the kind of guy that can come in and change your offensive line just from his presence alone, man. And
Before I let Miz go, real quick, I think I equate Daniel Jones to that couch that you get when you move into a new apartment. You don't necessarily want it, but it's there, and you can't afford a new couch because you just spent all your money on the apartment, so you're going to keep it around, and then you're like, maybe next year I'll buy a new couch. That's how Daniel Jones is. He reminds me of leftover furniture in an apartment. You know what I mean? Something that you don't necessarily need to use, but it's good to have every once in a while. It's like it's not your style, it's not your flavor, but hey, I have a couch. You didn't need to pay for it. This one is like if Dayball comes in, he's like, hey, I have a quarterback. I didn't need to draft one. You know what I mean? So he's like Daniel Jones is the couch to my house. All right,
100. And I'll let you go, Miz, and Mac was referring to Tyler Linderbaum out of the center out of Iowa. You guys go look him up if you're watching the show and you want to learn more about him. I think he's gonna be an amazing football player in this league. Let's get it, Miz.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, Adam already knows where I stand because the texting started early this morning. So I'm big on the Buffalo regime. I've been calling them for 2 weeks since the day we fired Judge or whenever the hell that was. And when I heard Joe Shane and then we looked him up, man, this guy has everything the Giants need and haven't had for years. And you go back and look at the guys he's scouted, and that's the big thing also. You're bringing in a scout. It's going to be a new scouting team. Guys who actually know how to evaluate and find talent. Another thing we haven't had in about 6 or 7 years. So I'm really big on him. He's young. We all know about the whole new direction and outside the organization. Mara's doing everything right. And now we're bringing in his coach from Buffalo, and it's his time. It's his turn. And yes, we don't have a Josh Allen, of course not. But you can look at other things the guy has done, man. The Bills are successful. For the last 3 years, they're one of the better offenses in the league. You saw a show last night. And yes, a big part of it is the quarterback, but there's plays being called, there's a system, there's a strategy. That this guy just has the looks and the feel of the right guy for the Giants at this time. And if you could get Wink on the same staff, that's a cherry on the cake I didn't even think of. So that would be a monster staff. You're putting together a power coaching staff. And for people that thought Mara doesn't care, man, I think this shows you something. I also said a while ago, not even about me, but I do think somewhere, I know it's far-fetched, but I think somewhere behind the scenes, Parcells is pulling a couple of strings because a lot of these guys have connections to him. But about Daniel Jones, you can't go wrong by giving him 1 year. You have him for 1 year anyway, man. So you're not like you're giving him some type of crazy money or a new contract.
Can't go wrong with the couch.
Well, you know what I mean.
I see that point too. I'm with Miz on that.
All I'm saying is they drafted the kid.
Yeah.
They drafted
Give him the
kid.
first shot
He's
at
a
a
New
new
York
team.
Giant, and he deserves a chance to play behind the line. And I'm pretty sure these guys that we have now are going to try to put together an O-line, I would think. So let's just see what this guy Dabo could do with Jones, Barkley, a couple of these guys we have. Let's see what he could do. And if it doesn't work out, you get yourself a QB in a 23 draft, which is much better than this class. Let's be honest.
So let me ask you this, Miz. What are your expectation levels going into next year? Because I know you informed me that you're looking for 8, possibly 9 wins. That would kick you out of the quarterback market. So what is your expectation levels, and what do you think might happen early on in the season? Oops.
I mean, I think that I look at the Giants. You look at their roster and the weapons they have. If they could put together an O-line in this draft, if they do the things that we think they're going to do in the draft, and you come back with a lot of these weapons, Daniel Jones, this defense, and you add a little something to the defense, maybe you get back Blake Martinez at least. Let's say at least one guy. Man, listen, you look at the Giants' schedule, it's a joke. You can't sit here and tell me the Giants can't be next year what we thought they were going to be last summer coming into this year. So why the Giants can't win 8 or 9 games? Come on, it's not far-fetched. Look at that schedule.
I'm not saying it's necessarily far-fetched, but to me, I'm like, just give me 6 and improvement, and I'll be good to go. 7, you know what I'm saying? Because if we're trying to go for it, depends on really how Daniel Jones reacts to me. Because first off, I have to bring in competition for him. right? That's why I keep mentioning Mitchell Trubisky. I know Buko told that to me. It is a free agent. And the reason I would do that, if this is only if Dayball comes in, the reason I would do that is because you're going to need somebody in that room to teach him the offense. Because if he's not getting on the field till August, someone's got to pretend to play quarterback while we're waiting for Daniel Jones to couch.
So Adam, should Ryan Tannehill come in?
Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather have Mitchell Trubisky in a trash can than Ryan Tannehill. That guy. You know what I mean? Like, Daniel Jones will be in Ryan Tannehill if he's not careful.
I want Marcus Mariota if we're going to bring in a veteran.
Well, listen, here's my point, Zion. Mitchell Trubisky allows you to get a guy knowing the offense if Daniel Jones can't play or is injured or has lack of reps in the preseason. If you bring in Mariota, he's starting from ground zero, right? He has no recollection of this offense. He won't know what to do. You bring in Mitchell Trubisky, and if you want to limit the snaps on Daniel Jones because of his neck, right, you got a guy who can function the offense with the first team. He's not going to not know what he's doing because it's going to be the same place he ran. Right?
My memories of Mitch Trubisky is him overthrowing everybody.
I'm not. Listen, Zion. You're not. I mean, you have Dayball here who kind of improved his mechanics, right?
That's true. That's true.
It's not going to be Mike Glennon out there, part two. It's going to be.
I get you're using his name as a fielder, and plus you wouldn't mind him. You just need to bring in a quarterback for Daniel Jones. It needs competition.
Push him.
Right. Yeah. I don't necessarily. Well, it doesn't have to be Mitchell Trubisky. What I'm saying is with Mitchell Trubisky, it gives you an easier shot to cover up the ills of Daniel Jones because you'll have a guy who already knows the system. You won't need to. It's going to be like a tutor, right? Because he's going to be teaching Daniel Jones, but he's also going to be teaching maybe the other quarterback that comes in because right now they have two guys on the roster. One's named Brian Lewerke, the other one's named Daniel Jones. And they had 4 quarterbacks on their roster, 2 on the practice squad last year. They had Davis Webb, Jake Fromm, the guy they have now in Mitchell Trubisky, and Josh Allen. So look for that. I look for the running backs to change, right, because they have 4 running backs, so you might want to add one there. They only have 2 tight ends in that roster. I mean, I'm just looking through what kind of defense are they going to play. If we get a Wink Martindale, are we playing a 3-4? Are we playing a 4-3? Are we playing more of a 3-4 than we did this year? Because Patrick Graham was an amoeba defense. He was just, hey, let's line them up and we'll change as we go. Wink Martindale has an identity. So that means you're going to need to find players for him. Same thing with Dayball. You're going to have to find players. So look at this roster to be cleaned out. It's going to look different at the end of 2022 than it does at the beginning of 2022.
Buko brought up a good comment down here too. Buko brought up a good comment in the chat, man. Trubisky was looking good in preseason under Dayball. I know it's only preseason, but if Fields gets the Nagy excuse, then Mitch also does. And I tend to agree with that also because I just don't believe in Matt Nagy as a coach. And Mitchell Trubisky did deal with that in Chicago before he heading to Buffalo. I don't really know. I didn't see him in the preseason enough to know how good or not he played. But at the same time, he's a type of good veteran presence you could bring in that can push Daniel Jones because he has legit starting experience in this league, and that's what Daniel Jones hasn't had yet. He hasn't had anybody to competition. He hasn't had to look over his shoulder or anything. He just kind of keeps getting handed the starting job these last couple of years. So he definitely needs to bring somebody in there that can definitely push him and try to make this kid truly better.
Well, think about this, Mac. If you add up Daniel Jones' injuries, he missed 6 games this year. He missed 2 games in 2020, and he missed 2 games in 2019. Well, 4 games in 2019 because 2 of them he didn't play, right? Because he was behind Eli Manning, and then 2 he was injured for. So we're talking about 2, and 6, right? 10 games he's missed in his career already. And that's why you need to bring in – I don't want to see Jake Fromm anymore. I don't want to see a Mike Glennon anymore. I want to get a guy in here who, if we're fighting for a playoff berth or we're fighting to be relevant, at least it's going to keep us relevant. And also, like you said, Mac, so this guy doesn't feel comfortable because I think a lot of the problem with the Giants players
absolutely big
scholarships have been scholarship players. They know their job's not going to hurt, so they don't have to work as hard or come back. I mean, look at Sterling Shepard. No offense to that guy, but any other team probably cuts his ass, is on the street. But we're the
2
Giants.
2 full seasons in his last 6.
Excuse me?
Well,
No,
I
I just said
want,
two full seasons in his last 6. Stunning Shepherd.
Right, right. So
Um,
to me, what I'm looking for is a different identity, a more cohesive offense that works, right? One that doesn't give me 13 points a game. You know what I mean? I need a guy to make sure that Daniel Jones looks over his shoulder because here are my numbers, and maybe these are far fetched, but let me get your guys' thoughts on Daniel Jones's numbers.
Let's say real fast before we go into that. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for holding us down, fam, for being here with us on Premium Takes episode 4. I believe Miz had to say something. He wanted to say something, and
yeah, I
if
want to
not,
bring up something that Adam was talking about a minute ago. Just why do people? I don't believe this is going to happen at all. I don't know why people keep saying this that they're going to blow. They're not blowing up this defense because the majority of this defense is kids that we just drafted in the last 2 years. So why would you blow it up? Why wouldn't the new coach that want to mold them into their type of football system and players? You know what I mean? Why would we throw them out and start all over? It makes
the only reason why I would think that the throwing out players is probably be cap
Ooh.
situation.
No. I don't mean throwing out players. What I'm saying is like Big Pat says that Wink runs a 3-4 defense, right? So if he runs a 3-4 defense, then you're keeping the similar personnel that you got on right now. What I'm saying is if you come in and you're running a 4-3, you're changing it all up. And what I'm saying is if you look at the Buffalo Bills, you're gonna you're gonna start to see more of Joe Shane's players and his coaching staff coming in, and you're gonna see less and less of the guys you recognize going out. Now, I'm not saying you don't keep Barkley. I'm not saying you don't keep Jones. I'm just saying when a new guy comes
I'm talking
in.
about the defensive side of the ball, Adam. Defensive side of the ball. Forget the offense.
Defense.
The defensive side of the ball, you're going to keep most of the guys. I'm just saying, if you're going to bring back a guy like Lorenzo Carter, are you playing a 3-4 or 4-3? That changes everything, right? Because you can't really bring that guy back if you're playing a 4-3. But you can bring him back if you're playing a 3-4, right? Because in a 4-3, he would be more of a cam linebacker.
Like say we have, I think Mrs. point is say like we have someone like Bradbury. Do we get rid of him to save money on the salary cap, or do we pay him?
You could do that. You could get rid of Bradbury. That won't bother me if you get rid of Bradbury. You're not going to get rid of the young corners that we have, like Robinson, Holmes.
Yes,
You're probably keeping Jackson for one more year because of the cap situation, right? You're keeping Jackson. You have McKinney, who's going to be here a long time. So what I'm saying is, let's talk about the front four, basically.
Big Pat
you can turn that front four into a 4-3 easily, I feel. No?
Right, but yes, you can, but then you need different personnel. And what I mean by that is Dexter Lawrence now doesn't become a nose tackle anymore. He becomes a regular D tackle. Leonard Williams doesn't go on the outside anymore. He comes on the inside. He's now a regular D tackle. So you need to know what you're going to do with your defense, because right now, if you play a cover 3, or in this case, Buko said Wink plays as cover 0, well, guess what? You're going to need corners for that. There's going to be a lot of corners drafted because you're going to need a lot of man coverage because they're going to bring those blitzes, which you need because Leslie Frazier did absolutely none of that last night. He brought nothing. It was just a waste of friggin' time and energy.
But isn't that one thing that we do have? Isn't that one thing that we do have a lot of, which is secondary players and corners?
We do have a lot of corners, right? We do have a lot of secondary players, but the thing is that is Bradbury, right? Do you want to leave him on an island because he's got to play physical? Last year, Graham played off, and so there are a lot of underneath plays. So you got to figure out what kind of corners you need. I believe Adoree Jackson can play in both. Bradbury can play in both, but Willie Jackson's better because he has that catch-up speed, right? Bradbury is not as fast. So those are things you got to think about, right? And Aaron Robinson, he can play that physical, bump him at the line type of corner, those are the type of guys we're going to need, which also means we're going to need linebackers. They had Matthew Judon and they had Tyrus Bowser and guys like that. So if we get Wink Martindale and his influence is in there and he goes, Joe Shane, this is the type of guy I need, kick Lorenzo Carter to the curb, then away we go. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you bring back Carter. Maybe you bring him back. He had 5 sacks, best season of the year. Max saying get out of here. So Lorenzo Carter, see you later, man. I mean, Big Max.
Lorenzo Carter, go to the WWE.
Time to move on from Carter. Let these guys. You gotta let these new guys. So
Right,
you say goodbye to Lorenzo Carter. You let this guy draft some guys. You can't take up all the spots with these old guys.
What's the
You got
Leonard Williams
Aziz on the outside. Basically, if you're saying what you're just saying about Wink, then you could be sure that the Giants, that these guys might draft at 7 or defensive end.
If Wink comes in here, would he be like defensive coordinator, assistant head coach?
He doesn't need to be any of that, but you could make him that. I mean, if you were pulling him from the Ravens,
Yeah, why would he has to get elevated, right? To assistant
no,
head coach.
he left on his own volition, so he can come back as a defensive coordinator now, right? So when they let him go, that's different. If you pluck him off,
see, I didn't know they let him go. I thought we were just talking about him to talk about him.
No, he
did let him go.
Either he left or they let him go. They parted ways. Let's put it that way.
Parted ways. There you go.
And
Good way
so
to put it.
when you part ways, what happens is that you need permission from the other guys if he's on the coaching tree, right?
Yeah,
if he's on the sideline, right. You're going to need to be like, hey, we would like permission to speak to him. Can it be granted? If he's a free agent off the street, then you can just be like, yo, I'm bringing you in. Now he's going to be a hot commodity, just like Victor.
Wouldn't you want to go for a head coaching job, maybe at the Bears or something, or other teams? You know what I'm saying?
No, don't get me wrong. If he gets offered a head coaching job, he's going to do that probably. But Wink Martindale is a name you bring up when you're in the coaching circles in these interviews because he's out there. You know, I'm sure Brian Flores is going to say the same thing when he's interviewed. Hey, man, I'm going to bring this guy in. This is going to be my vision. We're going to be a tough, hard-nosed, rip your freaking face mask off type of team. You know what I mean? And Dayball can come in and be like, well, we're going to dance around him. And, you know, who knows what they're going to say in these interviews, right? And it's just, again, it's the vision of the head coach. Will we be the Ravens? I don't know. Will we be the Bills? I mean, you're going to have a lot of change here. It's exciting because, you know, you're going to get different transactions. The Giants don't have a lot of money, so they're going to have to rely on this draft and undrafted free agents to kind of fill out this team, right? So
absolutely. Shout out to NYG Jeffrey for being here. We appreciate you, all you guys and all your fam in the chat. Pull up Jeffrey's comment on Robinson. I think that's a nice take he did.
Aaron Robinson, give me a second.
We'll comment right above that one. There you go. He's a young, physical, young corner. Don't know where he's best at, suited for a slot or outside. Don't know where he's best at. What do you guys feel that Robertson is best at?
Well, I think he's a versatile corner. His measurables to me measure up to an outside corner. They were trying to play him, the Giants, as an inside corner. So, I mean, as a slot corner, which is, I think you already have Darnay Holmes. You know, it's Darnay Holmes, and that's why I want Darnay Holmes here because you know he played pretty well.
I got
you, man. I got you. I see it. Yeah, I see it. So, anyways, my point is that I look at him as an inside and outside corner. You know, like who's that guy? Al Harris. Remember Al Harris? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, Al Harris played on the inside and he played on the outside. And, you know, with bigger slot receivers that, you know, Michael Thomas plays when he comes back healthy for the Saints, he plays inside. You know, you're going to put Darnay Holmes on that guy. So I think he's going to cross-train at both. I would try to focus him on the outside, but give him those inside reps in case somebody goes down, right? Because remember, we forgot about Rodarius Williams. He's coming around. Right, he's learning. I know he's older, you know, and
Adam, can you put the link again, please?
Okay. Yeah, I tried to. Anyways, you continue.
No, I got big expectations for Robinson. I'll tell you right now, man. Another guy I don't give up on, who a lot of people have given up on, I don't know why, is Darnay Holmes. He's still a kid.
That's what I'm saying.
Wants to call in, Adam. Just dropped the link.
I feel like he didn't really.
I dropped the link, man.
I feel like we just forgot about Darnay Holmes this year. This coaching staff, they just kind of like.
Well, he got injured too. He was injured.
Yeah, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. Maybe he did get injured because, man, the year before he was a factor. So
yeah, he definitely was. He was kind of a nice, like a steal of a pick, as a matter of fact. He's like a 4th round draft pick or something like that, wasn't he? So yeah, he was definitely. I expected a little bit more.
Yeah, expect him to reemerge this year. I feel next year. Right. Exactly.
But Robinson definitely did play well, man. When he came in, when he got his opportunities, and I feel like we drafted him more as supposedly from what I was hearing, be more of a slot, defending slot a little bit more. But he was definitely out there playing on the outside, and he was holding his own, man. So
He'll play this year.
Look for big things from Robinson going forward, man. As
I
long as
get
he can
this
stay
question
healthy.
from Steve. Go ahead, Mac. Sorry.
I'm just saying, as long as he can stay healthy, man. Availability is always the best ability. So he's got to be able to keep.
Yeah, these are young guys and new staff coming in, you know. So let them do what they're gonna do with them. Teach them, coach them, you know. Steve said, Sean Payton. I heard some stories that Sean Payton might want to move on from the Saints. It's not going to be the Giants, obviously, as the Giants are pretty much on the verge of signing a new head coach probably tomorrow or Wednesday. But I think there's some more rumors out there today. Rodgers, nobody knows what he's going to do. He might flee out of Green Bay, and Green Bay would be in trouble. And now there are rumors surfacing tonight that Tom Brady might retire. So we'll see what happens. A part of that might be that Tampa Bay is $45 million over the cap and have 6 major free agents with no money to give them, and that's a problem. So I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Down there, Jeff's last comment there, Julian Love is someone they could do a little bit more with, but at the same time, I think he does get his opportunities. He just has to get his consistency, become a more consistent player out there, man. He has his good moments, then he has those like shake your head, head scratching moments a lot, man. And he's got to work on his hands too, man. He drops a lot of interceptions, bro. It's another one of those. So he need to work on them hands a little bit out there.
I've been dropping a link in the chat. I hope people can see it if they want to call in.
Yeah,
it's in the chat.
Nice.
The thing is with Aaron Robinson, I liked him coming out.
I'll be right back.
When I looked at his highlights and did my little evaluation, I'm no scout. Who am I? I'm just some guy that sits on my couch, right? Or if we want to make it real funny, that someone that's sitting. I'm not going to say that because it sounds weird. But my point is, Aaron Robinson is. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a lot of these rookies that played last year. Ellison Smith, year in the weight program. Let's see what he can do. Aaron Robinson. Let's see what a weight strength can do. Let's see if Rodarius Williams can come back. I think there are 10 picks in this draft. You can't spend premium on a corner right now. Okay, you've got tons of them on the roster. All right, so let's try to fill it out with linemen, defensive linemen, tight ends, things that we need, and then get a corner. Even a free safety. We don't have that many safeties. So I wouldn't be surprised. I know there's going to be a hot take to people, but if Kyle Hamilton slips to us at 7 and Wink Martindale wants to come in, hold on one second. Something's happening.
Alrighty, I'm back. What's up, Chad?
Hey,
Thanks for joining
what's
us.
going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Pat? Thanks for joining.
Yo, I got one thing on Wink, and I ain't gonna take too much of you guys' time. What's going on,
Take
Phil?
as much as you need. I know you was a big.
What's happening, bro?
You was talking about Wink long before a lot of us was. I believe you was talking about him since September that this team was going. So we'd love to hear from you, Pat. Let's get it.
What's going on, Adam, Mac, Zion, Miz? My
What's
take
good,
on
bro?
Wink. My take on Wink, man. If we get Wink Martindale, Dorsey, I know Miz says he don't want on the block, but I'm quite sure they wouldn't want us to take their whole front office and people with them. So they may do that. And Dabo as a coordinator, I would be absolutely ecstatic for that office, for that staff, coaching staff. But the thing about Wink, his defense, we're not too far off from what he wants to run, to be honest with you. And I know you guys are saying Bradbury, but I wouldn't be surprised if they cut Bradbury to get some of that cap room back to try to sign an offensive lineman. If they get 2 offensive linemen in free agency, I think they give Wink one of those first draft picks to get a linebacker. So don't be surprised if we get somebody like Devin Lloyd at number 7 or Nakobe Dean at number 7, because he needs that line. Those 2 middle linebackers need to be studs in his defense. And if we bring my boy back, I always forget his damn name. The middle linebacker, Blake Martinez, Devin Lloyd in the middle. This defense is not too far off. The only thing we would need is another edge on the long side of Ojulari. and the DBs, even without
Bradbury.
Bradbury, you gotta think we're getting Darnay Holmes and Rodarius Williams back. So that core of Dory Jackson, Williams, Robinson, and Darnay Holmes, you put Robinson on the outside, like you guys said, because I think he's better fit for outside. And those inside corners are Rodarius Williams and Darnay Holmes. They can alternate. And then I think Julian Love, look up a guy on the Ravens defense. I think his last name is Clark. Julian Love could play that same role that Clark plays. And Clark is nice over there with the Ravens. So if we get Wink Martindale, I think our defense does not take a step back. I actually think we take a step forward.
You saying Chuck Clark? Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah, Chuck Clark, nice.
Thank you, Big Blue in the Bronx.
Look him up. Look him up. That dude is nice. He's underrated. He'll be a Pro Bowl safety in about 2 to 3 years. But if we get Wink on as a defensive coordinator, we hire Brian Daboll as the head coach, and we bring Dorsey over as the offensive
That's a
coordinator.
fire combination.
Look for this
That's
shit to turn
fire.
around in about 1 to 2 years. And if we get 2 offensive linemen in free agency and we draft, let's say Ekwonu falls to us at 5. If we take Ekwonu and then turn around and take Devin Lloyd, I think this team turns around. I'm not going to say next year where we win 10 games or something. We could with the schedule, but who knows? I say we get 6 to 7 to 8, somewhere in between there. It'll look
I
like
admit
that.
that too, yeah. My number's 7 right now. I'll let you go, though.
Yeah, so if we get those 2 guys and we get 2 free agent linemen because we made some cuts, and believe me, we can get a lot more cap room over a lot of people you're not thinking about. People like O'Shane Zimenez give us $1.5 million back. I'm sorry to say, I know you guys love Nick Gates, but I think they cut Nick Gates too, and save $3 million there.
I like Nick Gates.
You save almost $6 million with cutting Rudolph, $13 million with Bradbury. Then you restructure
That
Galladay.
$6 million cutting Rudolph sounds good.
Yeah, then you
You said
restructure.
13 with Bradbury?
Yeah, you save 13 with Bradbury. If you restructure Martinez, if you cut him, you save 9. But if you restructure, I think you save almost the same exact money. And then you may be able to restructure someone like Kenny Galladay to push his back, and Williams too. And save the Giants able to get about $40 to $45 million in cap room. You can sign a best free agent right tackle and a right guard.
Yo, Z, read that.
Huh?
No, I was telling Z just to read what I wrote. Yeah, go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
And you get those 2 free agent linemen, we're not
Oh,
far off,
absolutely.
guys.
Absolutely.
We're not far off. So I would take Ekwonu is a beast, man. I keep looking at this guy. This guy's an absolute beast, man. I think he may be in those top 3 picks. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and that would hurt my heart because that dude is a monster.
Buko's been saying that too, yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that one of them slides. Somebody gets desperate and maybe drafts a quarterback, or pulls the trigger on somebody else, maybe a Kyle Allen or Kyle Hamilton or something like that. Because I think it's going to be like the 2020 draft with the tackles, right? It's going to be the top 3. Any one of them is going to be good. It's just a matter of who falls to you and what your preference is, right? So it's going to be a good chance. And your points about Wink Martindale, I like it. I'm interested in Wink Martindale because of what he brings, how the Ravens are run on defense, and what they can do. Now, I'm not saying kick Patrick Graham to the curb. If he is part of the,
He has an interview with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Right. If he gets signed, fine. But if we can't get Wink Martindale, hey, I'll keep Patrick Graham. He didn't do anything wrong with defense. There's a lack of talent. I would like to see him with an upgraded defense and see what happens. But Wink Martindale, I'm excited about it if Dayball comes in. So, Pat, great points.
I think Wink Martindale's Adam defense is a lot more aggressive than what Patrick Graham is.
That would be better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so I really think Patrick Graham is going to leave. I think they just haven't done it yet because they want to see exactly what was out there. And then when Wink Martindale became available, I think Patrick Graham has become expendable. If we keep Patrick Graham, I'm still excited for the defense.
Right. I agree with you.
But
I don't think the draft goes the way of getting Lloyd. Wink Martindale, I think, pushes that to that direction.
Yeah. With Patrick Graham, you don't need major linebackers, but with Wink's defense, you need those linebackers to be heavy hitters. And if Martinez comes back, he looks great. He's actually looking good. And you put Devin Lloyd on the side of him, I'm telling you, man, we're going to be excited watching Giants football within the next year or two. I think we could turn around in 2 years. 2 good
Doesn't
drafts.
Lloyd
I think this team is dominant.
Pat, you know a little bit better than me right now because I haven't done all my film study. But isn't Lloyd a little bit of jack of all trades? You know, he can play inside, outside. He's got versatility on the blitz and he can come back.
A good comparison for Devin Lloyd to me. I know it's going to sound crazy. I'll probably get bashed for it, but like a Fred Warner type. You know how Fred Warner plays with the San
I
Francisco
love Fred
49ers?
Warner.
Yeah, I like
He's one of the best in the game right now.
He's a third round pick,
if he puts on about 5 to 6 pounds and get that muscle up, he has the speed and he has the awareness to play the linebacker position just like that.
Get your muscle up.
Well,
I love Isaiah Simmons as well.
Isaiah Simmons, the weapon. That's more of he's similar. Simmons is similar to a Micah Parsons or a Dayon Buchanan, a guy who plays linebacker / safety. But this guy to me is like a Devin White, sideline to sideline.
Yeah,
you know, Fred Warner,
sideline to sideline guy. He's a thumper.
That's what we need.
What's his name again? I need to go look this guy.
Imagine Tate Crowder that can hit the hole.
With that, yes, with actual talent.
Yeah, imagine Tate Crowder that can hit the hole like he does every once in a while, but consistently and can tackle consistently. That's what Devin Lloyd is.
Devin Lloyd.
Tate Crowder, you just got me fired up because Tate Crowder seems like he's in the right place, but he always puts his head down, so the guy just runs by him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta look up.
He doesn't trust himself. And one thing we haven't mentioned, and like I said, I'm gonna let you guys have your show. One thing we forget to mention: Xavier McKinney in that Ravens defense with Wink Martindale turns into an All-Pro, guaranteed. Guaranteed. He can do the same things Earl Thomas did, except more. All he has to do is get more physical with his tackling, and he's an All-Pro. I promise you. You get Wink Martindale, Dabo, and Dorsey, who knows what we can do?
Can you show my screen, Adam?
Who is this?
Share your screen.
Just click on that image on the bottom. There you go. You can continue talking though, Pat.
Yeah, that dude's vicious, man. And if he wants a middle linebacker, a stud middle linebacker, get him.
Sounds like Brian Urlacher. You know, he played safety in college, and now he's a linebacker. Crazy.
I sign up for Brian Urlacher any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
I don't know if he's going to be that, but just
yeah, you can hold off on that. Brian Urlacher was a different beast.
I'm just saying, in terms of position, Urlacher went from safety to linebacker. This guy has the same kind of history, so I'm excited for it. And I would love to pick him. And this will be the first linebacker chosen in the first round since Carl Banks in 1984. So that would be a piece of trivia checked off the box.
Yes, sir.
Oh, could use a big time linebacker.
I'm gonna leave it like this. You get that coaching staff that has been rumored to come to us, and we change this shit around in 2 years. I promise you.
All
But
right,
like I said, I'm gonna let you guys have your show, man. Thank you for letting me on. Just wanted to tell you about that about Wink. I'm excited to get a Wink Martindale.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Make sure you guys go all sub up. I believe Matt was about to.
See, you guys made me mad now. Now you made me mad because
make sure you go support him.
Why are you mad?
We should have had Parsons. You see, so now you're gonna keep going again. Here we go, man. We should have fucking had Parsons and these morons were too confident.
Well, I'm gonna get off before I get cussed out. See you later.
All right, man. See you later, man.
All right, Pat. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Thanks for coming on.
Make sure you guys go check out Big Pat. He drops knowledge when it comes to these draft picks.
Great thoughts on Wink Martindale.
Great thoughts, absolutely.
Great thoughts. So we're going to get into our last question of the night before we bring people on. Here we go, people. Moving from football to another fun subject. The Royal Rumble is this weekend, and if you don't know what that is, well, then you lived under a rock for the last 30 years. But the Royal Rumble is WWE's over-the-top battle royale, and what happens is I'll explain the rules for you wrestling fans or non-wrestling fans that are laughing at us right now that we're talking about this. But there's 30 men, and you throw them over the top rope. How fun is that? Just imagine your best friend pissing you off, throw him off the top rope. He's eliminated. You know what I mean? And the end goal is to main event WrestleMania. You know,
it.
I was going to come on here and say I'm the rated R content creator just to take a page off of Edge's playbook, but I will not do that. I will refrain from giving you a WWE, promo. But I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. My pick is an outside the box pick coming in. I'm going to go with Kofi Kingston to win the Royal Rumble. He won it one time already. I think there's a couple good storylines you could manifest with what's going on. You have Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Someone did say that they think Brock Lesnar is going to lose to Bobby Lashley and then enter the Royal Rumble. That might be something crazy, but
Adam, my friend Sal from Sheepshead just texted me. Is that Adam talking about wrestling? I'm coming on.
I love it. Hey,
he's watching it right now. I think he's watching WWE right now.
Yeah. Tell him not to spoil it because
I'm watching it right now too.
Hey, don't spoil it back. Don't spoil it. The two best shows are coming up. Raw and SmackDown right before the pay-per-view. The storylines kind of heat up. I already see Mac's face. He sees something going on right now. So you better not spill the beans, man. But Kofi Kingston is my projection.
Real fast too, Adam. Shout out to Jeffrey. He says Liv Morgan for the females and Damian Priest for the males.
Well, Damian Priest, I don't think so. Liv Morgan, isn't she in the title battle? I thought she was in the title battle already.
She's not in the title match. She's in the Rumble.
Okay, so she's probably one of the front runners to win it. That or Alexa Bliss could be the surprise dark horse. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. I think it's her time, and the one thing about WWE that I hate is that they squash a lot of stars. There's a lot of guys that deserve to be title holders. I mean, we got Roman Reigns for 580 something days. Are you kidding me? Like, give me a break. Give me a new title holder or something. I know. But they make him seem like he's this immovable object, and he has goons come out every week to help him fight. You're this big ass dude. Your arms are as big as my thigh. Your arms are as big as my thighs, right? You're throwing people around. You're like, yo, bro, my teeth are all well done and stuff. Acknowledge me because I just acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Usos like, we the ones. You're the one true tag team championships that we freaking hate because you went from being popcorn players to this so penitentiary.
I can't stand him right now.
For gazy ass kayfabe shit, man. You're Uso penitentiary. Give them title to somebody else. I'm tired of watching these dudes every week, man. Drew McIntyre,
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I'm sorry.
Oh no, not Sami Zayn. Ugh, I want Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn is amazing.
It's the Raw deal. Okay, the Raw friggin' deal for Kevin Owens. All right, that guy wins the title. He did a swanton off scaffolding on Roman Reigns, and he lost the title. Are you kidding me? You put your body on the line. They don't even give you the reward for making a move like that. Oh, Mac, take it over, Mac. Take it over. Just over.
Yeah, Mac, take it over because I was about to.
Yeah, my Royal Rumble take, man. Look, I actually do got Alexa Bliss winning the women's Royal Rumble. I think they bringing her back. She's one of the biggest stars on the female roster. She's been gone for a long time, and she is long overdue. This storyline with her and all this crazy shit she does, that was a storyline.
Talking wrestling just lost all our viewers.
That should have already been maximized. that should have been maximized, Man, she got injured, unfortunately, so she's been out for quite a bit of time. So she's coming back. I think she's going to win that Royal Rumble.
You like her gimmick?
I loved it. I loved it more when the Fiend was incorporated with it. But I think she's actually still holding it down.
Can we bring back the hot Alexa?
I do believe she's still holding it down on her own as well. She's doing a pretty good job with the gimmick. I just like it a lot better when the Fiend was around with it. But
man, stop killing us, man. It's an adult soap opera. We're not looking at it like that. You know what I mean? If you like The Rock, you just that's it. It's wrestling. You got to do what you got to do. I know it's predetermined. All these people hate it, but hey, man, it's a lot of fun. It's gimmicky. When I was a kid, you had Royal Rumble where Hulk Hogan won, and then Ultimate Warrior came out as well. It was crazy time when they did the vacated title stuff, and Ultimate Warrior throws Hulk Hogan over the top rope, and he steals the title from Hulk Hogan.
Those days I remember.
Or how about HBK stealing the title from British Bulldog? When British Bulldog throws him over, he catches himself with one leg, doesn't touch, goes back in, eliminates Bulldog. These are memories, man. Wrestling may be popcornish, but it's entertainment, and I like AEW product and storyline better. WWE, though, this next few months will be pretty decent storylines. They never want to lose eyeballs for WrestleMania
Well,
because
that's what I was going with for the men's Royal Rumble. I think something just going to be something kind of foolish happen. Something I feel some type of way. Lashley's going to actually win the title from Brock, and it's going to be some kind of controversial finish, some type of way. Brock's going to get screwed out of the title. Lashley wins the title back, and then they can go ahead and resume the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar storyline and get geared up for WrestleMania.
I don't like that though, Matt.
By Brock then losing the title, entering himself into the Royal Rumble, and then winning the Royal Rumble, and then restarting the Roman Reigns storyline again.
I can see Paul Heyman pulling some strings. Like, oh, well, he lost the title and I ran to Adam Pearce and got him involved in the Rumble. Watch him come in at 30. That's what they would do. They would have Brock Lesnar come in at 30, throw the last popcorn guy over, like Shinsuke Nakamura or something over, right? The whole fan base going crazy.
Well, fast. I love that comment by Jeff. Yeah, Impact wrestlers are going to be a part of this Royal Rumble. That's why I know Mickey James is. And as far as the Rumble, real fast before you go at him, we was talking about it, this particular topic, but me and Mac was talking about Drew McIntyre, I believe his name is, the guy with the sword. Yeah. He could come back and win it, or even, I don't know what the storyline is with, I don't know, I've seen him on NXT, so I don't know what AJ Styles is doing right now, but they should have AJ Styles win because I believe that he's still a popcorn seller, he's still a headliner kind of person, and I'm just so sick of this Bobby and this Roman Reigns and this
AJ
Brock Lesnar.
AJ's been involved in a long, deep storyline with this big Colossus Omos, in a tag team for the last, better part of the year. You know what I mean? So he's just getting back into the single thing again. So they right now got him in this little Austin Theory storyline.
Yeah.
You can be our Stone Cold.
But but he's getting back into single action. So I don't feel like
I do and I don't
Rumble right now, but I think I don't think they're giving on the Rumble right now. But at the same time, he's going to build back up and probably get at least one more run before it's all said and done for him because he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Wait, hold on.
And I'm ready to Alexa Bliss because she's my favorite diva.
Here can somebody ban this guy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, another mod. Ban him up.
So, I think we're forgetting somebody, and that is the Goldberg has a storyline that didn't finish with Bobby Lashley, right? With his son coming in and pushing his son down. So I could easily see them doing some swerve where Brock Lesnar. Well, maybe Brock Lesnar loses the title, or maybe they lose the title, and either Lashley gets assaulted or something's going to happen where Goldberg is going to come back out because that's probably what's going to happen. And then when they go to Saudi Arabia for their February pay-per-view, it's going to be, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley again.
Could you guys, I don't know what his storyline looks like right now, but he's going to be the face of the new video game. Do you guys see a scenario where Rey Mysterio wins the Rumble?
He did win the Rumble years ago, but I don't think he's.
I think he set up the storyline, right? It's like whoever wins the Rumble is going to headline WrestleMania.
You got to look at the two champions. You got to look at the two champions, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Right now, they don't have anybody for Roman Reigns. The Rock doesn't want to come back and fight him, so they want a marquee match, and the marquee match that we wanted was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Now, what they might do, which is the third storyline outside of Brock Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble or losing and then fighting Roman Reigns after the winner picks, let's say Bobby Lashley or whomever, but he could possibly go for two titles, right? They're not going to do that, but you never know what's going to happen with Roman Reigns, right? Because right now, if you do that, you have Brock Lesnar at the top and Roman Reigns at the top. Now you got to find two guys to fight him. You already got Lashley for Brock Lesnar. You could rematch that. You still want to tease Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So Brock Lesnar is not going away with a title. He's got to be doing something. And the marquee matchup that people are going to want to see at WrestleMania are going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
Who? Who?
Absolutely.
Do some research.
Roman
Go
Reigns.
Google that shit.
Who the fuck is
But
Roman
on
Reigns? Tell me right
piggybacking
now,
off of
bro.
Jeff's comment in the chat, though, he was talking about any surprise participants in the Rumble. Another dark horse winner for me is if maybe Lacey Evans shows back up.
Oh,
Because I'm sure. I mean,
was gonna say
she's had to have the baby by now, and I had her little maternity time, so she should. I don't know.
thoughts
if
on
she
Ronda
shows back
Rousey
up.
coming back.
Jeff, I agree, but that would be a waste of the Rumble then.
Wanda coming back at
I'm
Rumble.
not sure. I'm not sure. What
I want her to. That is a dark horse for me. I would not.
Wanda. Yeah,
I
exactly.
would love to see Ronda Rousey. I mean, they're bringing in Lita. They're bringing in all these legends. And if Ronda Rousey is healthy and wants to come back, that's it. For me, I would do that. But then you got to think, who are the women going to win? Is it going to be Charlotte Flair? Because I'm tired of Charlotte Flair too. She wins too much. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Triple H used to win all the time with Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
It's like Triple H used to win from the mid 2000s. All you would do was pay-per-view. Triple H is the winner, and you're reigning champion. Triple H. You're like, dude, why am I even watching this? Because Triple H is freaking winning all the time. Well, Michael Buffer, whoever the hell is like, yeah, Triple H is now still the champion. You're like, bro, 13-time title holder. And I've seen you in every. They had nobody to ride. I get it, but this is what reminds me of Roman Reigns right now. It's like, give me a break. Give me somebody new. His gimmick is old right now. He's over with the crowd. People like him now, so it's not even a bad guy anymore. Right? I mean, everybody loves him. Let him take a few months off. Get him kicked in the teeth. Let him take a few months off to just relax. You've been working for all these days. Let him come back, and some random dude comes in. Let's say Omos starts terrorizing, people. Then you can bring Roman Reigns back. I mean, I don't think Seth Rollins has any shot at winning the title.
No, not at
Miz
all.
is going nuts here, man. Do you want me to remove you, Miz? I'm just kidding.
Wait,
real
fast.
Seth Rollins.
Where's Braun Strowman at?
Braun Strowman's in AEW.
Oh,
is he in AEW now?
Yes, or Impact Wrestling, one of those two. He's at a lower.
He might be on
be
Impact, maybe.
Would it be possible?
I think it's Impact. I'm sorry.
Would it be possible if Kevin Owens wins the Rumble? Would they give him that?
No, the problem is right now that with the title holders you have, there's nobody except for like Drew McIntyre who already slayed the beast at WrestleMania last year, and they need to give him his moment in front of fans because he didn't get his moment. He I don't even think he had. Bobby Lashley beat him for the title last WrestleMania, so he doesn't even have his WrestleMania moment. And then you look at Roman Reigns, right? Roman Reigns can fight anybody. They jobbed Edge. I mean, he probably should have won the title. The Usos came in, kicked him, and then, of course, he did the spear to him. So there's nobody really to fight him. I would want Randy Orton to win the Royal Rumble because at least he's a marquee guy. I know he's won the title, but give me Randy Orton. I mean, Edge is in a stupid mixed tag match. I mean, I wanted to see him get some more title. Like AJ Styles. I mean, AJ Styles is the modern day HBK, man. But
it's fun. We get to see Maurice.
One
way or another. One way or another. I feel like WWE, man, because they did not get to complete this Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar rivalry. They didn't get to. They got ruined by Roman Reigns getting COVID and not being able to compete at the pay-per-view or whatever. So they want to definitely make sure they set this up and revisit this and get that back on track somehow or another. That's why I feel like I feel like they rather take the title off of Brock and let Brock just go back after Roman as opposed to doing the vice versa. But they're going to find a way to get that back on track. And I can't see them wanting to unify the titles because the titles are on separate shows. The titles are on separate shows. So why?
Well, Fox would want that. I mean, I don't know what Fox would. The thing is, I don't know. You don't have enough superstars like you used to do because they cut everybody every 5 minutes. So, I mean, unless they want to shake it up and make a unified title, I don't know if they're going to do it. But I will say this, though. It's going to be fun. It's going to be one of those pay-per-views I tune into every year, even if I wasn't a huge wrestling fan. It's that WrestleMania Survivor Series and SummerSlam are my four main ones that I will always try to find a way to watch. The other ones are ancillary. I don't really care, but WWE has a propensity to do this. They always push their guys down. They always get rid of guys. Like Finn Balor should be in the title picture. Why that guy? Yes. He probably should be the Royal Rumble winner. Why that guy is not in any of these is bullcrap because he's the first Universal title holder
He only went in for a day too. That's so messed up.
Well, he held it, but then he blew out his shoulder. But you know what Vince McMahon does?
Yeah.
Vince McMahon seems to punish you when you get injured, right? You get injured, he just is like, "Oh, well, you need to earn your title stripes back." Like, you know who might win the Royal Rumble is that Austin Fury kid, the kid that takes the selfies. I could see them
Austin
because
Theory
he's in Vince McMahon's back pocket. And you know what that means, you know.
Yeah.
You'll get it, especially with him. He's not like an R-Truth or
He's his John Cena.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe
You
not
know,
to that
like,
extent, but you know, I could see it in like 5 years of that guy running the show.
right. He's got the look. He's got the build.
He looks like $1 billion.
McMahon likes the goddess looking, you know, dudes. They want them to be muscled out, roided out, you know, but clean. You know, I mean, you know, Shawn Michaels was an anomaly. AJ Styles being the title holder was an anomaly. You know, after the Boneyard match, that basically was it. Once you lose to Undertaker, your career is buried. You know, your career is buried.
That's bullshit too, because AJ Styles is probably the best wrestler in the sport, if not for Finn Balor.
Right. Him and Kenny Omega are friggin' phenomenal.
And I'm not talking about like all these old school guys.
And Kenny Omega is not going to come here because
he's never will come to WWE.
It used to be the marquee show back in the day.
Real fast, AEW said to open up a blank check for Finn Balor.
I would, dude. They have my favorite wrestler right now, or favorite wrestler of the last decade besides Edge is CM Punk. You know, his Cult of Personality song. He comes out, he drops freaking pipe bomb after pipe bomb after pipe bomb. It's great. We need guys like that. Of course, Vince McMahon. Problem with Vince McMahon, he's so corporate now. It's too corporate. You know, he's trying to be with kids. You know, the Attitude Era was the greatest because he didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn. You threw people through tables. Women were getting freaking power bombed and shit. Not that I want to.
You didn't have time limits.
Old ladies.
Old ladies getting power bombed. Kane power bombed an 80-year-old woman. I'm surprised she wasn't dead. Like, it's crazy. Pete Rose getting slammed through with it. Like, they were just crazy. Like, that's why AEW reminds me of a little bit of the Attitude Era. They just don't give a shit. They're like, whatever, we're wrestling. It's a joke. People know it's a joke. We're just gonna have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like the young bucks are good in AEW. You know, one of my favorite wrestlers, CM Punk. They got Sting. Sting's still holding it down at like damn near 70.
Holding it down.
People with, I'm telling you, holding it down, dude. He's beating people with bats, yo, and it doesn't even look like he's 60. You're like, yo, you're still swinging, yo. Still swinging. He doesn't do too much in the ring. But
Max said it. He's like 70. What are you doing, Sting?
Sting main evented AEW Dynamite just last week. He was in the main event match just last week in AEW.
And he is in his 60s and he's main eventing. But that's what I'm saying. AEW, at least if you're going to bring the talent.
I need to go watch AEW. I watched like one match with Daniel Bryan and this other guy.
Right? If you're going to be Sting's on the roster, you're using him. That's what I love about it. You know what I mean? These got these old guys on the roster for WWE, and it's just like, hey guys, I'm here to say hello and collect the check. They're like,
let's put Randy Orton in a tag.
What's awesome about with Sting and AEW because they got him paired up with one of the best young talents they got in Darby Allin. You know the kid.
You like him?
I do like Darby Allin, man.
I don't know. I want to be like, I'm into the creepy kind of character. You know, I loved Aleister Black. Like, I loved Aleister Black. I thought he was going to be the next Undertaker. And I loved Bray Wyatt. So this guy, Darby Allin, is kind of weird. I'm like, do I really like him? Do I not like him? But he's like extreme at the same time. And he's like a beanpole. Like, he's like got no muscle on him. Yet he puts his body through everything. You're like, dude.
But that's why I like him because he reminds me of like Jeff Hardy in the sense of just
God,
you just never know what he's going to do next, man. This guy, is he going to just jump from the damn balcony?
Oh my God.
I mean, and whatever. Darby Allin I get those vibes of Darby Allin where I just don't know what I'm going to see next from this kid.
Yo, Jeff Hardy was the reason I fell in love with the Attitude Era. He did the Swanton Bomb off the entranceway at Madison Square Garden through 2 tables on the Dudley Boys. I was like, dude, let's climb up to the roof right now and try this out. This guy was, man, he was crazy. I mean, he had a lot of issues. But man, and then I'll never forget the ladder match with Edge and Christian and Matt Hardy, and he spears him off a ladder. Like, dude, like that's what I'm saying. Like WWE now is like, oh, let's not hurt anyone. Let's not do this. AEW's like, we got tables. Let's stack them. You want 3 tables? Hell, make it 4, and we'll throw you right through it. We'll throw you right through it. No problem.
They got women fighting in like barbed wire matches.
Oh my god,
What?
exactly. These women are crazy badasses. Who's the MD? What's her name?
Britt Baker.
Yeah,
Britt
is she
Baker.
still the title holder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my god, she is badass. And not bad to look at either. But
Did you see that match with her and Thunder Rosa? It was a few months ago. Her and Thunder Rosa had that match. Oh my god. Both of these chicks, man, were bloody. So
it's crazy because the women, I feel like in WWE, the women's era is like the 1980s for the men. You got all these gimmicks. You've got oversaturation. People are like in cheerleader outfits coming down the ring with tanks and shit. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the guys are like back to being clean cut. You know, you don't have Hulk Hogan's anymore. You've got Mansoors and you've got, Jinder Mahal.
And shit.
All like Jinder Mahal, dude. Like, you want to talk about a guy going on steroids? That dude on the juice, he comes back.
He was so big when he came back.
He was like, you were like, dude, what happened to you? What did you do?
All of a sudden, he was just huge.
Right? He was like, we're like, yo, we saw you on Google, bro. You're not that big, dog. He came back and like, oh,
and of course, classic Vince gave him a title run.
Right, gave him a title run. Oh my god, it was the worst title run ever.
Jinder Mahal.
Oh my god, Jinder Mahal, man, and now he can't even find his way in the main event. He can't even find his way in the main event now. It's like 3MB. I'm like 3MB. Oh my god! Like what happened to Elias, yo? Like where did that guy go?
Elias.
It just disappeared.
Rick Booz cut his hair. I'm like, what are you doing, Rick Booz? He's gonna change characters. He's about to change on Shinsuke. Because usually when that happens, that means they're gonna change something. But like I'm just like saying, like these guys are just ridiculous.
You guys think the Vikings are gonna be tag team champions? I like that.
I would want them to be, but the Usos, I don't know who they be kissing now.
You hold all the records already for the tag team. Just let them lose.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's like Vince doesn't like to go outside the box. He's like, oh, let me not put on the Viking Raiders because they can't sell merchandise. Like the Usos, like really? That's why you want to put them on there? They'll sell merchandise. And maybe I would buy a Viking Raiders helmet. Maybe I should come on stream with a Viking Raiders helmet next year.
I feel like Vince is only giving the Viking Raiders an opportunity right now only because of Xavier Woods getting injured. So New Day not being able to do the tag team thing right now for a little bit.
But the New Day won too many times too. It's like give it up.
But that's my point. That's what I'm saying. I think he would have still just went back to that old same Uso New Day. Same old shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what it is? It's like they don't have any good tag teams. Like on Raw, like you had RKO, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle go together, win the tag team championships, and then it's like nobody else. Like Sheamus and Cesaro won the you wouldn't believe it. They won it like 6 times. They're probably going to go to Hall of Fame alone on that run.
The boys that respect the tag team, Sheamus and Cesaro, they're awesome. I hate them, but they're awesome.
Well, Mick Foley made that up. Thank you, Mick Foley.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mick Foley created
the bar.
The bar. But anyways, let's wrap this up and let's open it up to the public. They can talk. You guys can come on and talk about whatever you want. I'll put the StreamYard in the chat, and we can talk about whatever topics we've
Finn
talked
Balor
about
a belt and get him more involved in your main show and make AJ Styles the face of that damn business. I don't care if you pay Brock $10 million a year. I don't care if you pay Brock less than $10 million a year. AJ Styles is the best wrestler in the sport. Make him your headliner.
Call in.
AJ Styles is not the one that was in AJ Styles is not with in the Austin Theory rivalry. AJ Styles is with the other NXT the other dude in NXT that
they put AJ Styles on NXT. Like, what is he doing on NXT?
Waller and Austin Theory like the same guy.
Yeah. That dude, like, what are you doing? Put a shirt on.
That's right. Why the fuck is AJ Styles on NXT and why the fuck is Finn losing to a rookie? I don't understand.
Logan, what's going on, man?
What's up, Logan?
This is the last half of the show. We're going to talk about whatever we want. You can come back on. Doesn't have to be wrestling. I know Miz left the stream because we were talking wrestling, but we're trying to change it up a little bit. But I know you're talking about the Keurig machine being the head coach. So go in and get in there, Logan. What do you want to talk about? What we talked about today, minus wrestling? Go ahead.
I wanted to ask this question. Do you think the Vikings are done with Kirk Cousins?
That's a good question.
I know that I'm done with Kirk Cousins. I'm done. I'm done thinking of rooting, talking about that guy. He's a bum.
I could see it. Thank you, Mac, for the link drop.
Mhm.
Missed this comment. Sorry. I just when we get in mud, you gotta go watch Extreme Expose from ECW days. I would.
Appropriateness.
It's never gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing Kelly win the Rumble. But there's no storyline in
He just
that.
asked you about Kirk Cousins. You're going back to damn Kelly.
I just think that I was gonna say Kelly again. I just think that the Vikings. I wouldn't be surprised if they move on. This guy probably made over $100 million while playing on the Vikings. And what has they gotten? One NFC loss in the championship game. So,
I'll tell you what they've gotten.
Well, that
Nothing.
was Case Keenum. That was Case Keenum.
Oh, that was Case Keenum. That's right. They got nothing. Exactly. Pat's
Nothing.
Pat Adams right. Nothing.
Nothing.
I wouldn't
Nothing.
be surprised. Thank you so much.
I've
Matt,
got
for the link
more.
drop.
I've got more wins. I've got more hairs on my ass than they have wins in the postseason with Kirk Cousins. Okay.
Yeah. So get rid of him.
Give me a break.
He's not worth 28 million, 30 million, upwards of 35 million now. No, thank you.
You know that Home Alone saying with Buzz goes, "I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you're growing on my ass." That's Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't let him sleep in the same house if he was growing on my ass. Like, you are a bum. Get out of here. Get out of here. Kirk Cousins is straight stealing in Minnesota. They have nobody else. He's a thief. They should put him on a wanted poster for stealing all the money from the Minnesota Vikings.
Exactly. And I think we can all agree here on this panel that Minnesota probably has one of the best teams in the league. Top
Yes.
5 in teams. It's just the team that they
Talent-wise.
built. Exactly. Talent-wise. Absolutely.
It's-
Oh, I remember Stable. I remember that was back when the WWE was good.
Stable. Yes. Anywho.
And-
And
Obviously, he came on and asked about football. We're still going back to
I was thinking about this earlier, and I wanted to get some other guys' opinions on it. So obviously, Lamar Jackson is in the last year of his contract. If he doesn't want to sign with the Ravens, you think we could see him in Tennessee next year?
Oh, wow.
tough.
I don't
Such
one
a-
thing's for certain.
I can't
Two
see
things for
Lamar
sure.
Jackson other than purple. It's so hard to see him in another team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wherever Lamar Jackson's going to be, somebody's going to have to break the bank for him. So
Well, I mean, it brings
I
us to
don't
the
want-
same question that we have right now. Like, where Deshaun Watson going? I mean, I don't know what Harbaugh thinks truly of Lamar Jackson. I feel Lamar Jackson limits them a little bit. I just do. They want to compare him to all these players, but to me, he reminds me of, well, Michael Vick had better accuracy and better arm strength and can throw the ball. I feel like Lamar Jackson lacks that ability. I feel like he's a 2-read guy. He sees his first read, his second read, and he runs. You know, and that's hard to win. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is a no-read guy. So, I mean, at least you upgrade right there, right? He looks at the other team and throws it to him. Like, oh, here you go. You know, here's a freebie on me. But I don't think Lamar Jackson will be going to Tennessee. I don't think he's leaving Baltimore. But what they've got to come to the conclusion is he a guy that's going to win them games in a shootout? Because if you look at it right now, you've got to ask yourself this question. Does he do what Josh Allen and Mahomes or any of the quarterbacks in this playoffs can do? Can he accomplish that? If the answer is no, then you have to move on.
Yeah. I feel with good coaching, he could, but it's a long shot. I don't know if he could be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
Well, this brings me to another point that you brought up, Logan, is because everyone keeps comparing. We're going to use the Dayball situation. Everyone keeps comparing Daniel Jones is going to be this next Josh Allen type. And I'm like, yo, how much more developing we need? By the time we finish developing Daniel Jones, he'll be 7 years in the league and we'll still have no wins, nothing to show for it. So my thing is Josh Allen is that good, and Daboll is it's easy for him because he calls a play. And look at what happened. Do you think Daniel Jones is moving out of the way and throwing a dime on third down? No, he's not. He's going to stand there and sit there. The guard's going to be in his face, and he's going to try to throw around the guard and the defender that's in front of him. Because that's what Daniel Jones does.
If Daniel Jones was on that Buffalo team, they lost the game in the second half by third quarter.
The game would have been
game's
over.
Yeah.
My point is like everyone's like, oh, Daboll's going to come in here and this is going to be Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. You've seen what Daniel Jones can do. There is not much more to Daniel Jones. I was going to bring up numbers earlier.
Here's the
The
thing, though,
numbers
Adam. Here's the thing. Devil's advocate. There is because we have not seen him at a legit offensive line.
Give me a break.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Give
I'm
me a
being serious.
goddamn
I'm
break.
being serious.
Sorry.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's
That's
the
no. You know what that is? That's the excuse.
offensive line.
That's the excuse we use
Yeah.
when we want to keep the old couch.
Yep.
It's like, hey, we don't have any money, so let's keep this guy around and see what
This
happens.
couch is still usable.
Right. There's no
Yeah,
rips,
it
there's no
should-
dents. You know, it fits in the feng shui, and I'm broke as
Yeah.
shit, so we might as well keep the couch until we can buy a new one.
It's
That's
just
what-
like that.
Like, can we put something in perspective though about Daniel Jones? Like, look at his rookie season under Pat Shermer.
Yes, thank
Can
you
we
for
can we
bringing that up.
can we agree that barring the obvious ridiculous amount of turnovers, that he looked pretty functional in that offense?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. I have numbers for Daniel Jones that I need to hit. There are 4 things that need to happen. One, I'll go over the numbers. One are he needs to stay healthy. Availability for Daniel Jones is key. The second thing is his numbers are I need him to throw at least 4,200 yards, 25 touchdowns, and maybe, 8 interceptions. And I know that's stretching it, but I need him to also not
Fair
have
numbers.
6.6 yards per pass attempt, which he's had his entire career, which means you need to go down the field. I also need him to, mentally process better because I think Daniel Jones has a lot of talent, but between the ears is where he has like a brain fart. And you're just like, dude, what are you doing? Like Eli Manning got a leash because his name was Eli Manning. This guy has, I'll get to devil's advocate in a minute because I have the other side of this story too. Daniel Jones, while he's being given the raw deal, he doesn't have it mentally. There's things where he'll just drop back and just freeze and be like, oh my God, I'm being sacked. I'm just going to throw it to the other team. Look at the Buccaneers game. Who in their right mind throws it across the field like that? And a fat lineman doing nothing but standing there breathing oxygen catches his pass. Okay? He's not doing anything. That guy is standing there, catches his pass. Because Daniel Jones panics and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Brain fart, throw it to the other team. And these are the type of things I'm worried about because when Dable comes in, you think his offense is going to be pared down? No. First off, you need the personnel to run his offense. Let's look at his receivers. Gabriel Davis, 6'2". Isaac McKenzie, right? I forget his name. I might be saying it wrong. But he's 5'8". Cole Beasley, 5'8". Like Stephon Diggs, 6 foot. And that's on a good day. That's when he's wearing them those 8-inch cleats in his spikes. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I bet you
That's on a
every
good
single
day.
receiver on our roster outruns Cole Beasley, but they figure out a way to use him.
Right. And my point is that we have nobody, right? We might have more talent, but does it fit this offense? What are we going to do? Kadarius Toney, could that be that McKenzie guy? Who's our Cole Beasley? Shepard's probably, most people want him to hit the door, right? So maybe Jamison Crowder, if we get him off the Jets for cheap, he could be the Cole Beasley. Then Gabriel Davis, I guess you could use those routes that he runs with Galladay. And then, what do you got? Your tight ends, we ain't got none on the roster at this point because Caden Smith, I don't know where he's at. Evan Ingram, see ya. I don't care what anybody says. He'll be fine on another team, fine. Let him go to the Pro Bowl for Kansas City or Tennessee or one of these the Bengals, whatever good team wants to pick him up. I don't give a damn.
The Rams will get him.
At this point, to me, it doesn't mean a damn thing for me. Just get him off the team. Okay, so then you go to the running backs, and they had Singletary and Moss and all these guys. They had running back by committee. So will they want Barkley? Now I like Barkley, but he doesn't pass block on third down. So right now he's a 2-down back because you can't really use him on third down to pass pro. He can be used as a receiver, but you don't have anybody else. I mean, this team needs so much help that I'm just worried. That people thinking that we're going to come in and win these games, and I'm not trying to poo-poo you guys. First off, Daniel Jones, here are some other things to get back, and I'll give you guys the mic because I'm rambling on. It's probably because I had some special M&Ms, but that's all right.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be Logan's time to talk.
The point is that Daniel Jones got the raw deal when he came in because they hated Gettleman, so they hated the pick. He comes in behind a legend, right? And then the problem also is you comparing him to Eli Manning, so everybody expects greatness to happen, right? Because right out the gate, Eli Manning, second year's in the playoffs, third year still fighting for the playoffs, fourth year wins the Super Bowl, fourth year for Daniel Jones. We're still wondering if this guy's any good. And it's all because of those labels. And not to mention the 6th overall pick in the draft. Is he playing like a 6th overall pick? No.
He played like a 3rd round pick. But
might be generous too.
I love it.
yeah, that might be generous. Do you guys see Aaron Rodgers on another team next year?
Nah.
I think
I think Aaron Rodgers wants to go host Jeopardy, man.
well, you know what? For somebody who made fun of Brett Favre, he's going to pull a Favre. He's going to do the exact same thing.
Vikings.
He's going to either go to the Vikings, right, or he's going to sit there and say, "I'm going to retire." Then 5 minutes before the regular season opener, I'm coming back. You know, like that's what he's going to do, like Brett Favre did, because he complained, "Oh, why do you always retire and come back?" And now he's doing the same damn thing. You won one Super Bowl. You're breaking every damn record. You know what I mean? And here we are. So I don't know. I just think Aaron Rodgers is a diva, a choke artist. And I know that people like him, but like, let's be honest, he didn't have a great game yesterday. He did not. He is. What are you doing throwing it to Devontae Adams when your guy Lazard is wide open? They saying he's wide open. You're going for the home run. Take what the defense gives you. Win the game. Do what Josh Allen did. The thing I loved about the performance on Sunday about Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, they were both unflappable. When things hit the fan, when shit hit the fan, but I'm Josh Allen. I'll throw a 70-yard bomb, no problem. Back in the game. Go back to the bench. Joe Burrow, I'll take 9 sacks, still beat you. What? I walk off the field. I like I'm Joe Cool.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna run something by you guys because I was having an evil vision the other day. I don't know why I see Lamar Jackson as a Steeler next year.
Okay, I mean, like I see a thought process behind that.
Well, who's replacing?
A lot of people have Malik Willis going to the Steelers. Who's going to replace Josh Allen? I mean, no, not Josh Allen. I'm sorry. Who's going to replace Lamar Jackson?
Like, what are you doing for the Ravens? Are you killing that Huntley kid? Because I know that if we're looking for a quarterback, maybe Wink Martindale, if he is part of this thing, and let's just assume he is for this exercise, maybe he puts in a whisper to Daboll and Shane, like, "Hey man, get that Huntley kid as our backup quarterback to challenge Daniel Jones." I know he's an undrafted free agent. I don't know if that means you can breach his contract because he came in as not like a rookie. He just signed a contract. So I don't know if that means he has consecutive 1-year deals, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
What's the expectations for him too? Like, what is the Ravens want out of him? Obviously, we want championships, right? They want the Super Bowl, but like, is it a situation because we've seen not so good quarterbacks stay on teams for 10 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He has a lot of things to clean up, but he's just like, what is the benefit of getting rid of him? How would that benefit the Ravens? You know.
Well, I just don't think Lamar Jackson is going to sign another contract with Baltimore.
Oh, okay, got you. You think he's just gonna leave because he's a free agent?
Yeah, I don't think he
Got
will.
you,
I honestly
got
don't
you.
think
Free
he
agent
wants
this year?
to be in Baltimore. Yeah, he's a free
I
agent.
didn't even know he was a free agent this year.
So your options isn't picked up?
Not yet.
Okay, so they have till May to do that. So Huntley did play pretty well and keep him in games. So I mean, if they want to go that route, they probably could. But
I wouldn't know why would you do that though? If you was I would pick him up. Me personally would pick him up.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Well, the thing is that they have nobody else.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, the funniest.
Let's do that slowly. Like, it takes time, right? And you can see them getting him rippings. You can see him getting offensive line help. Getting the defense always been good.
What is interesting though is we're 15 days from the end of the regular season, and not one coach from these teams has been hired. We got a couple GM hirings, and that's it. So it's like I wonder what is taking so long, because usually when
the best team in the league, the Giants do first, and then they go after.
Well, it's funny because normally that's not the case. That the Giants have been a terrible organization, and people laugh at them. So the fact that maybe I don't want to assume this, but this seems like everyone's waiting to see what the Giants do.
They're waiting for us.
Then gonna move on from there, because Daboll's got a couple offers from Chicago and Miami, and if I'm looking at the quarterback situation, I may look at Miami and say, listen, I like Tua back in Bama. Yeah, I'm with Joe Shane, but Miami's going to pay me mad money. I get a quarterback that I actually know, not have to kiss butt and Daniel Jones, and the familiarity. I'm just saying, like,
I think
or you go to Justin Fields, who probably is a better overall quarterback than Daniel Jones and has more upside.
When you look at the teams and where you want to be be winning that, right? All these head coaches that got interviews with us and other teams, they're just waiting for us to announce it. I just believe because you win in New York, you can make it anywhere. You know
Yes,
what I'm
but
saying?
I look
So
at it like this though.
it's like, yeah, you may have a better situation if you go, and the salary cap may be better if you go to Houston. The situation may be better if you go to the Bears because you have a young up and coming in Justin Fields, Miami. You know what I'm saying? But maybe
But
with the addition of Joe Sean and just the waves that the organization is making right now, I just believe that like it's to the point where like I'll rather take the Giants job and talk them out of Daniel Jones if I don't like him, then take another job. And I just feel like you look at this list, there's no first class organizations, there's no 49ers, there's no really big organizations like Patriots, and I'm
right.
sorry to say this, the Dallas
Well, the Bears are
Cowboys, you
pretty
know
good.
what I'm saying?
I mean, the Bears are pretty much set up, right? They got a defense
Mm.
that is pretty solid. They got a young quarterback that they can build around. I'm just saying, for me, I mean, Dayball is probably going to be the pick, but Joe Shane is it's easy because the one advantage you have is he's working with somebody who's basically going to give him the keys to the city, right? Anything that Dayball's going to want, Shane is probably going to be like, yeah, man, that's your vision. Let's do this, right? It's not going to have any friction. The reason why I like a Flores is because I don't necessarily need you to be my friend. I need to win football games, and I don't want the art of being a friend, because when push comes to shove in 3 years, is Shane going to be able to fire this guy if he stinks? Because that's his friend. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like, that's
I
his
think
boy.
he I think you have a good point there, and I think he would build a relationship that he's seen his GM have with Sean McDermott. And like I think they should have a partnership, but as point as like going golfing and shit like that, like you can miss me with that. Just have a good partnership. Don't feel sorry when you have to get rid of the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and my thing is,
It's a business.
go ahead, Max. Mac.
I was gonna say, no, it's a business. I mean, at the end of the day, he's got to be prepared to maybe have to do that one day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just part
And
comes with the territory.
Well,
I don't know if you guys seen it, but I've been on Buffalo Bills Facebook media, and I've been watching every single like old prior. They have like 6 minute videos of him making decisions in the draft room, talking to the GM there, and I think his name is Brandon, talking to Brandon there, calling teams, explain like, not obviously Brandon knows more because he was the GM, but like explaining to Brandon, if we give him this pick and this pick, we can get like he was very, very, very obviously he's an assistant manager, and Brian can't be in everywhere at once, but he was very, very involved, and just looking how he acts in that room. Obviously, anybody looks good in a suit, but I'm just saying, like I'm very, very excited for him.
Just send a banner and open topics. Call in. If it doesn't have to be Giants, it could be any football topic. It could be basketball. Whatever you want to talk about on here. The next about, I guess, next
10 minutes.
18 minutes or so, we're going to close it out probably. So if you want any calls, but we'll continue on with this. I guess we'll keep talking about the Giants and their situation. Let's kind of play devil's advocate here and have Dayball be the coach, and we can go down the list of what we think about Martindale and maybe some thoughts on the roster and what we may have. And I know we're talking about Daniel Jones, but to me there are other issues we've got to deal with, one of them being the offensive line. And I know a lot of
He took himself out. So I think he wants to talk about the offensive line. And what do you guys feel that obviously we've been talking about the offensive line a lot. It's a long off season, and he's back, so I'll let him continue.
Sorry about that. But we sit here and we talk about the offensive line. I mean, we still have the guys like Matt Tate. I know people don't talk about Matt Tate, but like I went over some notes and thoughts over
That's
the
funny.
11-6. He's on that bullshit. So I was going over some thoughts with the older regime. They've attempted to get offensive linemen. It hasn't worked out, but they've attempted to get offensive linemen, right? Eric Flowers, not Shane Lemieux, Reston Richburg, Patrick Omame, Nate Solder, like Damian Brown, like the list goes on. So for me, yes, I want offensive linemen, but I think the Giants are going to take some guys from Bills if Dayball's the coach. I know they have a couple offensive linemen, probably backup guys they're going to bring down. Again, this is for the continuity of the team to kind of learn the playbook. You're going to need guys to kind of relay that message. So almost like the dude you lean to in class who you're like, man, can you give me the answer to the test? I don't know. You need that guy to be like, yeah, here's the answer. It's A, B, C, D, right? So I think you're going to get a couple guys like that. People saying, honestly, I don't be shocked if we're 8 or 9 and 8. I'm not going to say that because we tend to forget the rest of the NFL gets better as well. Right, we look at the Giants. We're like, yeah, 12 and 5, 11 and 6, rah, rah. And then we forget about the rest of the teams that we're playing. Right, God forbid we go in there week 1 and we have Mitchell Trubisky starting. Are you going to be confident? I mean, I'm not even confident that Daniel Jones is my starting quarterback. And you want me to go win 9 games? The guy was 4-7.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
He was 4-7. First off, Jimmy G ain't coming here. He's gonna get paid. If he does anything, he's gonna get paid.
That's why I feel like we keep on using the word foundation, because if I was the GM, I'll use, obviously, you know what you need to do. So I'll use this year, and my main focus this year is the trenches. I don't care about receivers. I don't care about tight ends. I don't care about running backs. I don't care about the quarterback, the safety.
Yeah, but ours get injured. We need those.
True. But hear me out. What a win would be for this year is if they have a solid offensive line and a solid defensive line, for they can evaluate everyone else on the team. You have a solid defensive line, you have a solid offensive line. Now you go and in the year, as the year goes on, you evaluate the quarterback play, you evaluate the receivers, you evaluate the running backs, obviously bring in people. But I think the main focus would be high draft picks on offensive line and defensive line. Then next year, once we have that evaluation, maybe we might need to add someone there or take someone out. But I want them to really have a solid line going into the year, finish the year hopefully with that solid line, and then next year we can talk about, okay, are we going to get rid of a quarterback? Do we need to switch some receivers out? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if we get rid of some players for salary cap purposes, but we keep some players that Giants fans clearly want gone, just based on the situation of they're just gonna do no matter what. Obviously it's not fun picks, but it is necessary that we attack real big offensive and defensive line for the first 3 picks.
But that's what I'm talking about too with that O-line, man. Like, and I'm gonna just keep saying it. It's not just because I'm an old offensive lineman myself, but it absolutely starts up front, man. It starts up front. You can't do anything offensively if you can't block. If you can't
proved it. This weekend.
So I mean, it's just you need to start bringing these guys in. You got whether you bringing them through free agency, whether you draft them, you got to start hitting on these acquisitions, man, and getting this offensive line together. That's why I'm so high on a guy like Leonard Baum. This offensive line lacks leadership, especially after what's his name, Nick Gates got injured. This offensive line completely lacked leadership on the O-line, man. Like, you need somebody come in there with that dog mentality that wants to just bully people and get people out the way, man. Because that's what offensive line is supposed to do: get people out the way. Keep the quarterback clean, man.
That's why I like
open up holes.
That's why I like the Daniel Jeremiah mock, because if that happens, you're getting both a stud on defense and a stud on offense. And I know you guys want offensive linemen, but here's my plan. I'm going to break a plan down for you. Let me see what you guys think. Right now, you have Andrew Thomas, right, on one side. You have Matt Pert, whether you like him or not. He's still on the roster. I'm not going to get rid of him right away. I'm not starting him. I didn't say I was starting him. I'm just telling you the guys that are still in the cupboard, right?
I was just going to say we have Andrew Thomas and then everyone else.
Right. Well, you have Andrew Thomas. You have Shane Lemieux. Okay, they want that they happen to like. Remember, they liked him last year. Now, again, a new coaching staff is coming in. New eyeballs may not like him. They may think he's a tomato and say, "Get out of here!" Right? So I'm just saying these are guys on the team that we already have. Ben Bredesen. I know Max looking at me like, "Where the hell is this going at him?" So my point is we may not fix if we don't have enough money. We can't go out and just spend because they're going to be like. A few people said there are going to be a ton of holes on this team. Guys are going to be cut left and right. You got to replace those guys. You need money to replace those guys. You need, you're going to need bodies to not just replace those guys with that position that they left, right? So if we have no tight ends, we might want to sign a tight end here and there. My point is, you're getting a couple free agents, starter quality guys. They don't have to be great, but they're starting levels, almost like the Loonies and the Fultons. You bring them in, you draft your linemen, right? This way, you're bringing in guys who can now mesh. Now we got 8 or 9, 10 guys that we can work together to build. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be easy to fix the line in one showing. There are going to be injuries up and down the line. And for young guys to come in and learn these positions, Aaron Thomas struggled the first half of the year. What makes me think that somebody else may not do that, right? So these are things when you rely on rookies, they've got to learn. So that's why I want to bring in veterans. Last year they could have brought in Cam Fleming. He went to Denver. We could have brought him back on the cheap. He signed a $1.2 million deal for something like that, right? So
I'm totally down to make it a party, like sign 15, 16 guys, have them bat. Not obviously like don't pay them all, but have them battling it out in free agent in training camp. Yes, get some veterans, get some proven veterans. It doesn't have to be like a lister or a B lister. Bring in some C listers.
They can be placeholders.
That can be placeholders, exactly. But as far as the offensive line and the defensive line point I was making, it's I'm not expecting any major big like wide receiver to be taken early, any major big tight end or running back to be taken early. Just okay. I don't care if I don't know these names and free agents. You bring in a tight end I never heard of, I don't care. You bring in a wide receiver I don't heard of, I don't care. Just fix the line. I don't want to see you guys going out there and trying to pay Scotty Miller or trying to, even though I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
Use the resources to what you got. It's not going to be a sexy off season. I hear what you're saying.
Exactly.
But my point is with I'm not going to use hog mollies, with the big guys up front. Right?
Hog mollies.
I'm not going to use that. That guy's out to build a go to Cape Cod. Go eat your chips and Cape Cod. Go eat your Cape Cod chips and Cape Cod. No, but seriously, with these big guys coming in, it's going to take time to mesh, but I don't want people to say, hey, let's draft 10 linemen for the draft, right? Because then you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And what I mean by that is like the defense still needs depth, right? The offensive receiver room still needs depth. If you look at the Bills team, go look at the Bills roster, right? And I'm not saying do it. Just take a look at it, glance at it. Like I told you, I was there just to check it out, to learn about Brian Daboll, to see their offense, to kind of get an idea if this is the way they're going, how they're going to kind of look. And if you look at their players, they're drafted players from the last 3 draft classes, 2019, 2020, and 2021, and then they supplement it with, small free agents, and then they make a trade boldly to get like a Stephon Diggs and all that. So I'm not saying to not get linemen. I'm just saying for the draft, when you have like 5 picks in the top 80, you got to also pull some premium talent for other positions.
Yes,
right?
yes.
If you can get a Trey McBride in the 3rd round, you draft that guy, right? If you can get a safety in the 2nd round to pair with McKinney, you draft that guy. I mean, there's so many avenues that this team can do. This is why I love the offseason, because I think the Giants need to fill out the team. I know there was a mock draft. I think they had a couple trade downs. I wouldn't mind getting more draft picks now, because if the Giants don't have that much money and they have a ton of money in 2023, get as many players as you can now. Load them up. Build your foundation on this draft. Then next year you can use the free agent money now that can come in to supplement all the needs, right? Let's say now Matt Pert sucks. The guy you drafted is injured and you need more depth. Boom. Now you go out and actually be a player in free agency and go get whatever lineman you want, right? And the thing is, that's another thing. I think they're going to trade 7 so they can get more picks like they did this year, so they move up for a quarterback, because they thought they were going to get a quarterback this year. Everyone told me Spencer Rattler was going to be good. It was all over the publications. Sam Howell's going to be the next great thing. All this stuff.
Sam Howell is the #1 quarterback rated in the magazine from a year ago.
Right. So that's how these things go. So my point is, if they want a quarterback, they like Howell, and he drops, take him. I'm everything's open. This is Joe Shane and whoever the coach's vision is. I don't care about the players on the roster. They're just placeholders. They're like couch that we don't necessarily want.
I like the vision of you saying like everything's open, because I'm more like, you guys better not pick anything other than edge offensive line for the first 4 picks. By round 4, you guys go do whatever you guys want. But for the first 3 rounds, I want edge, I want offensive tackles, I want offensive guards and centers.
But the thing is, you have 4 picks in the top 3 rounds.
Spend it all in the trenches.
Right. So you can get you actually 5 picks. Excuse me, I forgot the 2 first rounds. Right. So whatever you do with the 2 first rounders, whether you draft the guys or you trade them down or you keep them, You need to get 5 premium players that are going to be playing on your team next year, possibly in significant roles. At least the first 3 picks will be. The first two the 2 first rounders and the second round pick are going to probably be contributors early. So you need to make sure that those picks are premium picks. And let's not throw the remote if they decide to go in the second round a different way, because we need to know their plans. They're going to sit down, they're going to look at this roster, they're going to look at each piece of tape that's out there on these guys, and they're going to make assessments. And whenever they come out, because Wednesday is the press conference for Joe Shane, so we'll find out a little bit more of his methodology, a little bit more of what he's thinking. Hopefully he doesn't come out and say we're going to punch you in the mouth for 60 minutes, because I will drive to MetLife Stadium and punch him in the mouth. So I don't need any rah-rah speech. Just come out and say, hey, this is the Giants. We're going to kick ass. We're going to draft some things. You're going to let the game come to us.
This is what he's going to say. Watch it. You guys are going to hear this, and you guys are going to think back when
we're going to punch you in the mouth.
He's going to say, this is what he's going to say. I know this is very cliche, but I'm asking the fan base to be patient. We're going to go to work. That's exactly what's gonna come out of his mouth. He's all like, "I know this is very cliche saying, guys, but we want our fan base, and we appreciate the support and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna stay patient, and we're gonna get to work."
Mac, you got any final thoughts before we kind of wrap this up? You've been quiet.
Just need to turn this thing around, man.
He's enjoying WWE.
Let's just turn this thing around, man. It's just this is the New York Football Giants.
Say it again.
Facts.
The New York Football Giants. And
we look like New York Knicks.
And we look like the Jets. You know what I mean? So
we look like the New York Football Weenies.
That's not cool, bro.
Logan, how old were you the last time you had a winning culture?
I think I was 9.
Okay, cool.
I'm not counting 2016. He was probably
okay. In 2011.
How old were you in 2011? The last time he was actually winning games?
I was 3.
10 years ago.
He was in diapers when they were winning. That's how we got. Like, it makes me feel old. But my point is,
sorry, add that, Mac. But I just let me feel that.
Well, but the point is that we've been stale. We're Giant fans, and a lot of us rest on our 4 Super Bowls, and we wear the white gloves and polish them off and say, "Hey, yeah, look at us." But meanwhile, we're not doing anything. We're spinning our wheels. The mud's going everywhere. And we're like, "Yeah, we're the New York freaking Giants. We're so prestige."
We gotta add him because Georgia's never had a Super Bowl, never won one. We have to.
I understand that, but that only works in the off season. When you're in the regular season, these teams are winning 9 games, fighting for the playoffs, and your team's eliminated by October. Like, what? You can't really.
We're sitting there like with 3 wins, 4 wins.
Yeah,
like, yeah,
we are the
New
York Knicks.
Super Bowls, guys.
We
won 4 Super Bowls.
We won 4 Super Bowls. You know what they're saying? Yeah, those friggin' things are collecting dust. Okay, like that's it. You can write your name. Like you can write "Help Me" on the window in the trophy case because there's so much dust being collected in that room. I just want to restore the glory. I just want to be competitive this year towards the end. Give me 7 or 8 wins. Give me, an exciting offense. Give me something to watch every week. At least Pat Shurmur had Beckham and had, a healthy Barkley. And we were able to be like, man, we don't know what's going to happen and score 35 points, right? No, what do we got? We got friggin' let's grind it out. Let's
What
score.
did Miz just say?
What?
What did Miz just say? What the fuck?
Hell yeah. I appreciate you guys all for coming on tonight. We're probably gonna close it here. I don't want to take over the stream. But I know everybody got work tomorrow and Logan got school. So let's go around and shout out our channels and any last words.
Since it's my channel, I'll go last, so everybody else go ahead.
Well, you know me, it's your boy MacdaGiantsFan. You can catch me on my channel, MacdaGiantsFan. Right now, not doing anything too regular right now on the channel. We're trying to get some off-season content together, but I'll be doing a watch party for the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. All y'all welcome to come join me. It's going to just be some fun. Sit back, watch the Royal Rumble. You know me, I'm going to throw back a couple beers. That's just what I do. I drink beer and I know things. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, y'all all welcome to come to join me on Saturday night on my channel, doing the live stream for the Royal Rumble, man. and we'll be here and also be doing this same podcast, Premium Takes, next Monday night on my channel.
Let's get it.
Live.
Well, we will recap everything from the championship game to the Royal Rumble to how many times we're going to say Daniel Jones in the stream. Like it's all going to be.
See, that's why
Monday.
Mondays was a perfect day, fam, because we got right after the weekend, first day of the week. Let's tackle it. I love Mondays. All I have to say is Zion Zenith. You know where to find me, and if you don't, Zion Zenith on YouTube. Catch us, come support us on Mac's channel for the Royal Rumble, and also Premium Takes will be on Mac's channel, like he said, next week Monday. Turn that notification bell on for all these great content creators here. Never miss a video. Let's get it.
Subscribe to my channel, LGZ Productions. I make Giants content, Knicks content, and you heard it here first. Lamar Jackson will not be a Raven next season.
Well, everybody, this is Adam's channel. Sub up to all these guys, great guys. Not only are great content creators, but just great people in general. A lot of good stuff out here. We laugh about everything, talk about everything, and just have a really jolly old day. You know, just being fans of sports. Our team and passion is the Giants. We know a little something. So come in, check our channels out. My channel is the Hurry Up. It's on this show right here. You know, I'm on Premium Takes, and you'll see me around in other people's streams. I'm probably the loud guy in the room just going, robble, robble, robble. If you hear the teacher from Peanuts on a stream, that's probably me. So, you know, just have fun with it. Enjoy yourselves, and please come back and check us out again. Thanks for having us on.
And real fast before you end it, Adam. We want to hear from you guys too. So keep commenting on the videos we drop throughout the week on everybody's respectful channels, and let them know if there's any subject that you guys want to talk about on the next episode of Premium Takes. You guys can hit us up. Also, too, eventually as we go forward, we're going to probably mix it up. Maybe talk about some pop culture things, add in some music and stuff like that. But for now, we're going to keep it sports because that will mainly a sports show. But we want to hear from you guys, and if you guys have any topics that you guys want us to cover, we'd love to talk about it. Let's get it.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.